Is.
Alrighty, everybody. I know we're still anticipating a few bodies straggling in.
Or struggling.
Or struggling. But no, they'll be straggling in. Better late than never. Here comes Adam. Speaking of sneaking in. It'll set it up. There was one firing, but letting everybody know. Welcome to Dueling Aces for December 2. Hopefully everybody is doing well and kicking. We've got firings of all sorts.
Not the one that matters, though.
Coaches.
If I knew how to work a computer, there'd be a lion symbol behind my head, just for the show.
Whoa!
But since I can't work a computer, it didn't happen. It's the best move they've done in 4 years.
Or you didn't run out and get a flag and just hang it from the window. That way you could have done it that way.
I don't listen. This shirt was free. I ain't buying a damn thing for the Lions. That's just enabling people right there.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yes, I wanted Durkin to show up. This is the one day you should show up. Durkin, you should show up. This is the one time. This is the best move the Lions made in 4 years. This is their fucking Super Bowl. Right here.
He hasn't been on it like, what, almost 3 weeks?
3-4 weeks, yeah.
The Lions have done it to him.
I
don't know why he was in the hospital, but it has something to do with them.
Yeah. Well, we are still missing. He's still MIA. Mr. Schrods, of course, is still out on medical, and we hope that things are going to progress along quickly for him and that things get better. So we will still keep in touch with him, and hopefully everything, like I said, progresses very quickly and things gets better faster.
I don't know what's going on with Doug down there, but it can't be good. Because all of a sudden he says "fucker" and the camera goes flying, and now
he's just showing us. He's showing us his view of the cellar. That's all.
No, I'm outside. I'm trying to put my hood on and try to keep my headphones on, and they keep want to come off. So I had to set.
I assumed you were hiding because you're a Raiders fan.
No. Hey, I've been with worse teams, die hard. So this, I mean, yeah, was.
Were you a Cleveland fan or a Lions fan?
Am I a fan?
No, you said you'd been rooting on worse teams than this, so I assumed you're a Lions or a Cleveland Browns fan.
No, worse Raider teams.
Oh.
Come on, the fucking.
I was going to say the mute button is very close. Arrow is over the mute square.
If I don't get muted, it's not a Wednesday. So
it's really damn close. Not gonna lie.
Hey, curiosity, score check. Who won the game?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh did.
What was the score?
19-14.
Last 3.5 minutes. Oh man. That's the only part that I caught was the last 3.5 minutes, just before Baltimore scored that touchdown.
Well, here's the thing, though. How big is that drive right before the half where they didn't get shit?
Yeah, I'm telling you, it was. You know what? I don't think I did, Dave. Nope, it wasn't. Darn it. Sorry, Dave. Hey, I'm able to do it the old-fashioned way. Sweet. Done.
Hey, Zolt.
All right.
You're on mute.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing? We had a special moment, did we?
Yes, we did. We have a lot of them.
He had a week off. Forgive him.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Right?
Yeah, there was, as Suds likes to say, the blind chicken. Ravens getting that last touchdown. I was like, oh, are you kidding me? Really?
Yeah.
I was like,
that was a sweet touchdown, though.
It was, but once again, Pittsburgh, Ben said it in the interview right after the game was over. We played like crap. It was a bad game. Mr. Ebron, take off the gloves, dude. Take the gloves off. Every time it was, he couldn't catch the ball. Take the gloves off. Everybody was just, it was kind of, they were just lazy with the catches. What I mean by that is not.
Why are you blaming it on the gloves? Ebron couldn't catch the ball when he was in Detroit. Why are you
he's kind of known for that?
Yeah.
The gloves off. That's why they didn't want to fight. I just want to throw that in there.
What'd you say? I didn't hear what he said.
Tyson did take his gloves off. That's why he didn't want to fight. Well, I mean, Roy didn't want to fight.
Ebron, we're talking about Ebron.
What the fuck?
I know you are. I just wanted to jump in that on that.
Why? This is don't have a Tourette's moment. You do that on our thing where you just randomly say things nobody understands.
He's talking like he texts.
Now we get it.
Yeah, because he probably does that talk to text. No wonder it sounds so fucked up.
Oh, by the way, fuck you, Akers.
I was waiting for him to say something, so like give me a reason to say it. But I guess with this show, we don't need a reason. We just say it.
No.
It's Akers. Come on.
Yeah, I was kind of debating that this might be my first and last year in the Dueling Aces Fantasy League. Anytime you lose to Akers, it's enough that you don't want to show your face again.
No, I'll give you Akers. It's if you lose to me.
No.
Doug.
Okay.
Doug. That's if you lose to me.
As George can attest, and as I can attest, running leagues, you don't kick out the people who lose. That makes zero sense.
And also the same guy that will draft Justin Tucker's second pick just because he wants his fucking kicker so goddamn bad.
You know, you bring that person on board strictly for the ingenuity.
Yeah. Is that what you want to call it?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm going to call it.
Okay.
Well, I keep Doug around. That way I have something to kick hard.
Wow.
As folks, I whooped his ass.
Oh, God, yes.
I had Mr. Fuller, who, and if you take a regular league scoring, basically, he scored me 40 at regular league scoring.
Whoa,
that's more than almost all the quarterbacks.
You guys see the breaking news?
What?
Russell Westbrook to the Wizards for John Wall and a first-round pick.
Oh, that's just bad. That's punishment right there. You just got sent to the Wizards, motherfucker. That's That's worse than what they did to San Diego did to what's his name? Oh shit. He plays with the Clippers. Oh, Leonard. They sent Leonard so far, they sent him out of the country.
Yeah.
They put his ass in Canada. You got out. They basically took you out of the league by sending you to Canada. The Wizards now have Westbrook. That's worse than being sent out of the country.
Well,
I thought you were going to break the Pistons signing Ball.
Who?
Ball. The bad one.
I thought you said Paul.
Ball.
Chris Paul. Ball.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Great. We got to deal with his dumbass.
Which one?
Not him. Not him in particular. His
yeah. The dad. Yeah.
Which one is it? That Jello or something?
No, he got like one of the top 5 picks. No, we're talking about the
guy that was playing in Europe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got the middle brother.
Yeah, that's Jello because there's Mello and then there's Lamar or something, LeVar or whatever the hell it is. The one that plays for the Pelicans, the one plays for the Hornets, and then now the one plays for the Pistons.
I don't know. That makes what? Move number 22 for the Pistons this offseason.
And what's the roster size?
Not that.
Right. I mean, at some point, somebody's got to go.
Oh, by the way, let's not keep Zolt hanging. Suds, you tell the story better than I can about the first time, the thrown cell phone.
So this is why Doug hates losing to me. So this weekend I whooped Doug's ass in our scoring by close to 600 points, roughly. But this is drawn back to an old poker game.
Which
Doug decided.
Dealing, by the way. I was
dealing that dipshit was dealing.
I was dealing
this
hand.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
The cards get passed around, and Doug decides to make a medium-sized bet.
No.
Well,
raise.
Pre-flop raise.
Medium raise.
Yeah.
It was a medium raise.
Yeah, it was like 2.5 times a blind or something.
Yeah,
like
I
that.
was sitting on pocket sixes, so I just
fives,
pocket fives, whatever.
Pocket fives.
Either way, the flop comes out like 3, 4, 6. I got an up and down straight draw. Doug goes all in. He decided to go. He had pocket aces and underbid that shit quite a bit.
It was the straight 2, 3, 4.
Either way, I'm up and down.
The ace came on the turn, which gave him 3 aces, and he called the all. He said all.
Yeah, it was the all in on the turn.
And you slowly grinned and went all. And Doug flips over and shows you triple aces, and you went, well, that's nice. Here's a straight to the 5. And he got so pissed, he stood up and he whipped his cell phone into my garage.
No. That's not the order of. I was pissed. Yes, I got up, and at that particular moment in time, that's when Diana decided to call me and ask, where was I? And I said, I'm still at the game. Why? Well, I need you to come home right now. And I'm still seething. I'm ripped. And
cell phone goes flying.
She starts yelling at me, and that's when I took the old flip phone and I just chucked it. Absolutely,
dude,
the thing
shattered it in pieces.
Yeah,
and that was the beginning of me just owning his ass.
Well, no, I've gotten a couple of digs. I mean, like I said before we came on air, the last 3.5 years or so in fantasy football, I had an 8-0 streak against you. So I mean, there's that. But you beat my ass this week in the secondary league. You got your revenge.
It's first to me because that's the only league I'm going to make the playoffs in. It's number 1 for me.
With this,
I might make the playoffs.
Probably just out. Yeah. With this loss, I'm probably just out, and I have to win next week. I think.
How many weeks we got left before the playoffs?
1.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is
next week.
And George, why did you have to go and lose 2? Because now we're both 9-3.
Position for playoffs.
Swift. I was gonna say, does it really matter?
No, because what's the next best record? What, 5 and 7?
We're already been given the bye weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, it does not matter at this point. We can. I was going to say, I've phoned it. I apparently had to phone it in this week because running backs galore suck.
I got Ezekiel Elliott. I don't want to hear it.
Hey, George.
Yeah. So do I.
Hey, George, in our one league, who gets the buys? First and second?
First and second, do.
Okay. And that's in the, you don't have the buy in that one. You must be talking about the one of the
Dueling Aces League.
Yeah, the Dueling Aces.
This is Dueling Aces.
Yeah, the secondary league.
Gotta get into the correct one.
Yeah.
No, this is the Dueling Aces League. Adam and I have
no, they haven't quite updated us yet.
Oh, they haven't updated.
No.
But, I mean, we've got like a 4-game lead.
Oh yeah, you guys are killing it.
Yeah, we're crushing it in there. So
yeah, I mean the projected quarterfinal right now would have Doug. He's number 4, or Andrew's 3rd. So Durkin's 3rd, Demon's 4th, Socks and Sneakers is 5th, and then Andrew and the Flying Beavers is 6th. And all their records are 5 and 6. Every single one of them is 5 and 6.
Oh Jesus!
Which is crazy.
Yeah. So that's why I think I'm just out of this loss. Pushes me down to just out of it, or.
Well, I don't know because Zolt lost too,
number
right?
6.
Yeah, I lost to Durkin.
So yeah,
you lost Durkin.
Yeah.
it's still one
Yeah,
of
a
those.
lot
like,
of people were facing each other this week.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I needed that.
And I jumped in hard this. Not only did I, because I beat Doug, I also scored a freaking shitload of points.
Yeah.
So I could actually jump up even higher. I'm back into the playoffs at this point in time.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you weren't in that. You weren't technically out of it.
Well, according to the thing, I'm number 8.
It was
by
a
points.
six-way. It was a 6-way tie, but it was a 6-way tie on the record.
Yeah,
I understand
I was gonna say you were technically 8th, but you were tied for 3rd.
Yeah, it was a 6-way tie for 3rd.
Damn, sorry, Zold. I see why you lost now.
It's brutal.
Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's how I lost in the other league. Was Tyreek Hill.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, look at Suds, Will Fuller, and Patrick Mahomes.
Dude.
That's how he beat me. I think that's the game that Patrick went off for like 989 points against me or some shit. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
Yeah, he scored
Between
750.
I scored 1,000 points between Fuller and Mahomes.
Yeah.
It's unreal.
Over 1,000.
Yeah, almost 11 actually. It was like 746 and
759 and 328. That's over.
That's almost 1,100.
It's over 1,000. It's
60.
1,087.
And now the bitch is out. He gets suspended.
Yeah, Jesus.
Oh yeah, they couldn't catch that on game day or just before. Really?
They couldn't catch it next week.
They were pulling a Sudbury.
Next week, yeah.
They were pulling a Sudbury.
You're having a bad week when you take out your quarterback because he had your most points, and your highest scoring roster spot is the fucking defense at 144. I had 6 players that didn't even score fucking 100 points.
See, for Suds, even if he starts Kirk Cousins, 599.
Yeah, I saw that.
I mean, Suds is like, yeah, all right. So I still would have won.
No, the worst was still Durkin when he left Stafford or somebody on the bench. Remember I showed you it was like 758.
Mm-hmm.
So can we get to the cellar dweller and the wherever?
No, let's not. Now let's not.
You want to see the board. So what you're saying is you want to see the board.
I want to see the board, George.
I own that fucking straight out.
I gotta adjust my glasses.
Same here.
All right, this was the tightest. That's what she said. Week we've had in a while, and I do mean tight. It was this damn close. The leaders of the week, myself.
Oh, at least I had 8.
Zolt and Ryan with 12. Akers, Big D, Sean, Adam, and Shroud with 11.
Digits.
Suds
Jesus.
with 10. Doug with 8.
Yeah.
It was
I got
pretty
lucky
darn
with
close.
The goddamn fucking Raiders is the game that got me.
Raiders.
Raiders, Chargers. Those are.
Zolt is our lone wolf for frickin' blind chickening the frickin' Patriots.
Lucky bitch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, literally.
Yes.
Literally.
Jesus.
Literally. That was pretty damn sick. Really sick.
Oh, and the totals will be leaderboard. Here we go.
95.
New totals.
Hey, at least I beat
Look
Durkin.
at that.
Not 2 weeks
119. 119. 119. We have a 3-way tie for first. Sean with 114. Adam 109. D with 107. Suds 106. Me and Akers both with 103. Durkin, because of the pauses, down to 91. Doug with 95.
Yeah.
Doug, you need me to sit out for you to even get into, even come close to catching me, don't you?
let's see. Where are you? There you are. 106. Yeah, I need 11 to tie, 12 to beat. So I need you to sit out 1 week at least.
Still got 5 weeks to go.
Ain't no way. I gotta make up 10 games. Ain't no way.
Yeah.
Stranger crap has happened.
You're gonna have to vote. You got to pay attention to where people are, the people ahead of you are picking, and try to pick the opposite on some of those.
Which is what I tried to do last week, and you see how well that fucking paid off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and don't pick with Doug.
Yeah.
That's
so
the key.
Either way, you're screwed.
That's like with me, like the whole damn Vikings. I'm watching that game. And I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. They're going to lose to the Panthers. Panthers are my second team. I was like, normally I would have picked them. But thank God they came back. And I'm like, oh, I did not want to have to deal with this Vikings bullshit again.
Very true. Very, very true. Yeah, so it's still pretty close.
No, it's not.
I think Mr. Burridge
Not
will.
last place.
Well, sorry.
No, it's not.
Not for last place. You're right.
I would have to predict every single game for the next 2 weeks just to be in the running.
And Mr. Burridge will find himself that he's going to be like, what? And I think he might pick a little bit more carefully next week.
There is no Thursday night game this week, right?
No,
I got moved.
No, the
Tuesday, right?
That is now the Tuesday game. Yep, we'll get into the disaster. Don't you worry.
The gritty nitty.
I am trying to.
I see you have Fire Hardball on your background. That ain't happening.
Did you not see my name too?
No, I haven't.
He says we are executives.
I stole it from Penn State since they beat us last week.
We are what?
How they always say we are.
Pants.
Yeah. How they always say we are Penn State. I just changed it to sick of khaki pants. Which I've been trying to tell people the asshole's going to pull it. I'm telling you. He already got this week's game canceled.
Yeah, it'd be a good time for him to bail for the season because he doesn't want to go down as the worst head coach in the history of U of M.
Oh, it can get a little bit uglier and more disastrous than that.
Not if he cancels the rest of the season.
No, I mean, to be honest, he's already
cannot cancel the rest.
Yeah, I was gonna say he didn't cancel anything. He, in fact, has just now set a record that has never been set at Michigan Stadium, and that is zero home wins.
Holy shit!
And technically, that's if you want to do 1881, but they didn't have any home games that year, so
that doesn't count.
No, that doesn't count. So yeah, he's already set the record for futility.
Good for him.
And
now he can be the Lions' new head coach.
And I actually saw somewhere, I don't remember where they actually said something about that.
Yeah, I've actually heard that.
Yep. I don't remember where, but
that was such a joke. That was such a dig, and somebody's even thinking about doing that?
I have heard that, sir. I heard that over the weekend.
Yes.
This is why this state, and this is why people in this state tried to kidnap the governor.
But
because here's
my thing.
People thought, let's go with him, with the Lions.
I was gonna say that is one name that I've heard of 3 so far for coach. I've heard 0 names for GM. Isn't that kind of like working in reverse?
Yes.
I've heard, what is it, Riddick or whatever for GM.
I heard, like I said, I haven't heard anything for GM. So,
he Barry Sanders in for GM.
There was what was it? The Tarek Salah they wanted for head coach from the Niners. Yeah. Then it was going to be Riddick as the general manager, and then Chris Spielman as like player personnel director.
Let's give it to Barry Sanders. Make him the GM. Then he can move the Lions to Europe.
You just want to get him further away. And I think you want to put him in a time zone where we don't got to watch him.
Right. Now you get it.
I get it.
Yeah.
My evil plan.
Yeah. Yeah, the only other name I've heard for head coaches, I've heard it was the name I floated weeks ago, but other people have been saying too, Eric Bieniemy from Kansas City.
He's going to be on the hot list for everybody.
Yes,
Well,
yeah.
See, the problem with being on the hot list is mean you ain't coming to the lines.
Probably not.
Right.
That's why Soleil is probably more a better chance, just because he's actually from here. So.
Oh, is he?
That's what I heard.
You have to find a guy that nobody else wants, and that's the guy you're going to get. Nobody wants to come.
Yeah.
Nobody. First of all, what's the benefit? Oh, you get to be the GM of the Lions. Oh, congratulations! You haven't won in 20 years.
Yeah.
And the weather sucks.
Yeah,
The
playing a dome.
entire time you're in Michigan. The
No,
only
the
time
Lions-
it's nice. The only time it's nice is during the summertime, and guess what? You ain't here, motherfucker.
Yeah.
So what's the purpose? None. So you got to find someone nobody else wants. You want to wait for Matt Nagy to get fired in Chicago, and then hire him as the head coach. That's actually would be a really good fit.
No, Gase.
No.
Oh.
Gase, when Gase gets done from the Jets, guess who's not getting a job anywhere as a head coach?
He'll be a coordinator again.
Yeah, he'll end up being a coordinator. He will never be a head coach again. This is
Nagy would be an excellent
back debacles.
Nagy would be an excellent pick, though.
Here's the thing: like, I know Bieniemy is going to be high on everybody's list, but I think the best fit for him would be Houston.
I could see that actually.
Nagy?
Yeah.
No,
Bieniemy.
Oh.
I mean, technically, if I'm Bieniemy, I'm looking at I coach Patrick frickin' Mahomes, and I'm gonna leave this to go try.
Yes.
What?
To become a head coach.
To become a head
That's
coach.
why you're leaving, to become a head coach.
Right.
Of Deshaun Watson.
Who has done what exactly?
Carried a fucking team for 2 seasons better than Stafford has.
Okay, which still does not snip you anywhere near a divisional championship game.
But at least
Well,
you're
actually,
starting
yeah,
out with
you're
starting out with a quarterback, though.
Yeah.
AFC South.
But that's all you have.
AFC South. He could win that division.
Well, I mean, we've talked about this before. Good coaching positions don't just come open.
Right. AFC South, he can win that division. You have Indy and Tennessee. Really? You coach up Deshaun Watson. You give him players around him, and who knows? You might look at a divisional champ in Houston.
The only problem with that is how bad did Bill O'Brien screw him on the draft picks, though?
Exactly. Bill O'Brien.
Well, that's what free agency is for in that case.
True.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And the Browns went through 7 years of crap. If I'm the enemy, nope, I'm not going here.
Okay, so you're gonna take the Browns, who have drafted more quarterbacks in a decade than how old my kids are.
Yep. And
you're gonna say you're gonna compare that to them. No.
Still not going
name an NFL team, George.
Going.
Name an NFL team that's losing their head coach that he can go to that has a
legitimate chance.
An excellent quarterback.
Okay,
or a legitimate chance.
Here's one for you, possibly, because I don't know how it's going to work out.
Not just the quarterback. You have to go with the team.
Okay, name
Deshaun
a good
Watson
team that's
one guy. They have no running back. Their quote-unquote star wide receiver is gone. There's nothing there. The offensive line is Swiss cheese. The defensive line is even worse.
Name a team then that's going to lose their head coach this year.
Who has a better team?
Yes.
The Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions have a better team than the Houston Texans do. Yes, I know. They just played against each other on Thanksgiving. You have Bieniemy's offensive scheme versus Patricia's, which is night and day because Bieniemy's an offensive guy. Hello.
Yeah, but you
turn around and you
put
put that into play with those players, I'll take it.
So what are you trying to say? Stafford's going to turn into Mahomes?
Did I say it was going to be Stafford?
I was going to say, because I'm not terribly sure Stafford's staying past his
I don't think it's going to be Stafford. I think it'll be Blau.
Really?
I think it'll be. Oh yeah, I think it'll be Blau. If Bieniemy, since you know.
Well, when's Stafford's contract run out?
Hang on. We're going on that. The enemy comes in. You trade off Stafford. Blau takes over. New offensive scheme. You have Blau, you have Swift, you have Peterson still, plus your receiving core. And who's to say that you don't get another prime receiver for the trade out of Stafford?
Where's the mute button?
You don't have control.
It's right there. All right.
I mean, I get what you're saying, and I see what you're saying. And I've been on they're going to trade Stafford this offseason anyway, just because this is the year to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think so too. I think this is the offseason that it's done.
Here's my thing, though.
Do I smell a bet?
Here's my thing, though.
There's the mute right there. There's the mute right there.
You say they have the receiving core.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, you trade Stafford and you would obtain one.
All right, that opens up a whole other question that we'll do after. So your receiving core,
Galladay and Marvin.
Here's the thing.
The younger.
I don't know that they're keeping Galladay because I don't know that he wants to stay.
Well, I read something the other day on a Twitter account that he wanted to trade it.
Well, the thing is, he's not practicing this week, and I don't think it's because he's hurt.
No, that's why I said I think there's more shit going on in Detroit than we really do think, because jokingly around, people are actually saying that Stanford needs to get traded out of Detroit so they can start rebuilding again. And I'm like, if you're going to say that Stanford needs to be traded because of the fact of what's going on, then get him to a team that actually will win. Don't trade him to a shitty team, because he is an actual decent quarterback. He's just on a team that is blah, a team that it can beat anybody, but also give anybody a win. It's a 500.
Okay. All right, Akers, I got a question for you. What's your trading partner, or who's your trading partner?
Well, that's the thing, though. That's the challenge. What player do you want to start rebuilding with? Me? I've seen a lot of teams more successful of building your defense first, then grabbing your key players on offense, because quarterbacks are a dime a dozen. I joke about Baker Mayfield all the time. Baker Mayfield is a quarterback. Is he the franchise quarterback for the Browns?
Shut up, son.
He could be the Tim Couch of the Browns right now. The guy who able to get them all the wins, but may not be able to get them into those playoffs.
You're saying he's not great. Challenge. You're saying he's good enough.
Yeah.
For now.
Because look at him. I mean, look at the receivers Baker had. Come on now. You know me, I am not a Beckham fan, but he is a top competing receiver. And why did he have problems thrown to him? That's my key factor with it. And that's the only thing I always said. The same thing with Stafford and the Lions.
Because he rolls to the right and Beckham's on the left.
It doesn't matter if he's on the right or left. He's got Jarvis on the left on that thing, if you're saying that.
And Landry got over 1,100 when he was healthy. Look what Landry did last year. He was one of the top wide receivers in the NFL because Mayfield rolls to the right all the time.
How does the ball get to the end zone? It moves downfield. That's all. It does not need a 70-yard bomb. You don't need an Aaron Rodgers to be standing on the 10-yard line to throw that thing all the way to the end zone.
But it helps.
No, you need the ball to be moving at every 10 yards down the field. And literally that's what Baker does. That's what Stanford does. But the problem is when they get to these defenses, such as Pittsburgh, back in the day with New England, where they have that 15-yard defense that you can't pass on, that's the problem. Like Lamar, he can't pass more than 15 yards. Yeah. You get these great quarterbacks, but the problem is they're not deep threat quarterbacks.
So what we're saying is Stafford goes to Cleveland and Odell goes to Detroit?
but then we're back in the same situation what we got now. We have Baker and we've got Case.
No. Hey, no. I'm not saying Baker will be there either, but I'm just saying Odell's in Detroit.
I would say if Baker was on the trading block to be traded and we got Stafford and then he was traded for something, then I could say there would be a possibility to see, is he really what he was in Detroit? Because like I said, this is the thing we say about Tom Brady. Is Tom Brady what he was in New England, that he is in Tampa? We're going to see the breaks. That's when we get these quarterback trades. You know, if Stanford was to go to another team, will he succeed better? That would be the challenge. He would have better receivers if he comes to the Browns because Jarvis is better. He has I'm sorry, Jarvis is better than Galladay. Galladay was never really, I would say Galladay is my top 20 receiver, maybe 15. He may put up the yardage because he's the number one receiver for Dallas, but he was never really the go-to guy like Johnson, Megatron. You know, you put Megatron in the end zone and he's got 4 guys on it and he's coming down with it. You know, that's the challenge with Galladay. Can he put him in that situation? I have not really seen that.
Because he hasn't
Galladay's only been in the league for, is this year 3?
Yeah.
This
he's basically set out this year.
This is the 4th.
Okay.
Year. This is
okay.
his
Go
4th
with that.
year.
When you're talking about that, how many years has DK been in how many years has DK been in the offense?
2.
In the NFL, 2 years. They're comparing numbers to him to Johnson right now.
I saw that.
You know, he's a beast.
Okay, so he's literally being legit the number one receiver in Seattle. He's the go-to guy in the end zone.
Actually,
not because he's 20 foot tall, but I'm just saying, like, if Stafford was to replace Wilson, Stafford would be a top 5 quarterback.
The number one on the game the other night says Metcalf is receiver 1, Lockett is 2.
What's that in here?
The other night when they went through on the game, they reflected the Seattle list. DK is receiver 1 now, Lockett is 2.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what receiver he is, as long as that fucker gets me some points, Lockett.
That's right.
Well, that's what the thing was, is Lockett was the go-to receiver. He was always catching up those touchdowns. You know, he was Pac-Man in the end zone.
Well,
he was never.
The thing it was him, it was Baldwin, but you know, Doug Baldwin had to be a player. You know, he can only play for so long. You know, so I mean, it's kind of a crapshoot, and Seattle got lucky with DK Metcalf. I mean, and again, we know it's also the system too, but you know, it never hurts the fact that the kid turns out to be so damn good.
Sorry, my phone died.
When
I was listening. The funny thing, my phone died when I was talking to you guys, and I'm looking at my phone. I was like, "Why did you just go quiet?" So it's good. It's good to be talking about sports again, guys. I'm just saying. I kind of need this. I need some sports because I'm drained. I've been drained for the last 3 days.
No sweat. Bruiser just jumped in. He's not strapped into his chair, but it looks like he's still a little comfier.
I am. I'm sitting on my recliner.
How are you, sir?
I'm
he
out.
Got a DUI.
No.
NASCAR.
He was black flagged.
Yeah, flag.
I had surgery yesterday.
Yeah, and how did it go?
Fine, I guess. It hurts a lot.
Did you have carpal tunnel taken out in like your left arm or something like that? Because you go left all the time.
And my right arm, and then the left arm is in a couple months. The left hand's in a couple months.
Damn, I was guessing.
Do you know how to get that stronger?
We know how you get it stronger.
There it is.
You gotta do those 12-ounce curls.
Yeah, no, I wrench on enough stuff at work that my hand's strong enough.
I sand a lot. I do a lot of sanding.
Yeah, that's what she says.
She likes it too. It's stronger. It's able to pick her up.
Yeah, okay.
And I see in the chat there, Aaron said the Pittsburgh linebacker Bud Dupree initial reports are a torn ACL.
Yeah, I saw the play, and I'm sitting there going, well, That's going to hurt that defense a little bit more.
There is a question in there for you too, Zolt.
Oh, there is?
Yes,
What'd I
if
do?
you go up
What?
about playoffs for Detroit.
Playoffs?
Playoffs.
Wait a minute. Who even is that Chipper?
Yes, it was.
Bring up
Oh,
playoffs?
Jesus.
Chipper.
Oh.
No.
Chipper,
Ooh,
put the beer
wow.
down, Chip.
No, that's a good. Who will make the playoffs first, the Red Wings or the Lions?
I say Red
Oh.
Wings.
Red Wings.
Red Wings because I can actually see the trajectory that they're on, and it's also easier to make the playoffs in the NHL.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
How about the fact that the Lions only make the playoffs once every 20 years?
Oh,
How long's it been?
Hey, how many teams have never made the playoffs? And have the Lions been to a Super Bowl?
No.
No. We've
They're
won
one of 4
championships.
teams.
We've never been to a Super Bowl.
We're one of 4 teams. We're one of 4 teams, and a couple of those teams are new to. Have only been around for 30 years.
it's the Browns, the Lions, the Jaguars, and who's the 4th?
Texans.
The Texans.
Texans.
Exactly.
It's
What year did the Texans come into the league?
Last.
No.
99.
Last year?
90 years, so it's 21 years?
No, that's when the Browns were re-introed in 99. Houston's only been.
I said they came. Yeah, the Browns and the Titans came. Well, came back in. We should say Houston did come back in. They were also known as the Houston Oilers, but.
Well, they were. What was Houston? Were they 99 or were they in the 2000s?
Hang on a second.
Texans,
I'm pretty sure
99, I think.
I say they came in with the Browns to make it.
99.
Oh,
Texans were not because we were oddball, and that's why you got so many freaking bye weeks.
2002.
That's what I thought.
Okay, yeah, you're right. 2002.
Yeah.
I knew we were new. It was around that same.
Yes.
Yeah.
So out of the
We did
4
know it was
teams that have
2000
not
somewhere.
gone to the Super Bowl, the only team that the Lions are the only one that's been around the entire time.
yes.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean,
Since
technically
the Super
no,
Bowl,
because
since the Super Bowl started.
the Browns were in existence too.
But you just said they
That's
got
what I say.
reintroduced.
I was going to say.
Well, they
Right.
Well, yeah,
Oh.
they took 3 years off.
Well,
but they
They got reintroduced, therefore they're new. Their team was newer. They got reintroduced because
But the
they
history-
turned into
but-
the Baltimore Ravens.
But the history stayed in Cleveland because of the lawsuit. When Modell moved the team in 95, the city of Cleveland and the NFL sued Modell to keep the history, the colors, and the name in Cleveland and won. And so all of that history stayed. So even though the team was gone from 95 to 99, there is no gap as far as the team not being in Cleveland.
Kind of wish we would have just let everything go with Baltimore to see if we
You
would have
should've.
changed the culture.
No, man. You got to hang on to that O for record. O for Super Bowl.
Oh, they
like I
made
said,
you 0-16, so that's all right.
Like I've said, you know what's going to happen. It's going to be the Browns and the Lions are going to go to the Super Bowl at the same fucking time and have to play each other, and we're going to be fighting just like it was against the damn Cubs about the longest streak of World Series.
Well, that actually brings up, I was going to ask, out of those 4 teams, who's making it first?
Texans.
Out of
Yeah,
the 4
okay.
Texans,
I can't see that. No, I see them as a fighting competitor. You're right, but I think when it comes down, if it was to come down to an AFC
Don't be a fucking homer.
He is.
I'm being a
Don't worry
homer.
about it.
I'm being no damn homer. I'm not.
remember, he's a Ravens fan.
No.
He's not Homer in this.
I'm saying that the Texans. I feel the Texans are a competitive team to get there, but I feel that they would weak knees. I would say. I would. Probably
They'll
say
get there,
is
but
what
they'll get there, but they're going to embarrass themselves. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, because they joke around, like the sportscast say.
That's
They've
could
never
be,
been this far before. They're probably tired.
So what's your answer? Who's making it there? Who's making there first?
That's a good
Texans.
question.
I would say Texans.
Akers? Give a fucking answer.
What were my options again? Detroit, Cleveland, Houston, and the Jaguars.
Jacksonville. Yep.
Oh, Jacksonville
Jesus
made
Christ.
it one year.
You would ask me
No,
this if you asked me
Jacksonville
this
made it
2
to
years
the
ago, I'd have said Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Really? The strongest team right now?
Who's going to make it to the Super Bowl first? Just to the Super
I know,
Bowl
but I'm
first.
stating by what players are on what team right now.
It doesn't matter.
I would say the Browns. But I'm saying by going by who I think is stronger as of right now.
But we're not
There's
talking
nothing
about
we
right.
can do in 4 years.
We're not talking about right now. We're just talking in general.
Actually,
what
I
I'm
can see
saying.
why.
Yeah, but you got to go from right now.
Yeah,
What
because
do you
what
want?
you
You got to go from right now.
I can't say.
Like
I
right
can't say
now,
1987.
Who's the
No,
closest?
Here's the thing with the Browns is while they're 8-3, and they have a cupcake schedule the rest of the year, and yes, they're probably going to make the playoffs. They're not winning the division, which I'm fine with. They'll probably lose in the first round. Also fine. You got to get those building blocks to build the team forward. I think the Texans are farther ahead in that process and are trying to plug the right pieces in to where they need to go. They have the components. They're just trying to plug the right pieces in to get that last hump. And I could see them making the Super Bowl in the next couple of years when I think it might take 3 to 5 for the Browns to make it there. I think they're going to end up becoming a perennial playoff team here in the next short bit, but I also think that it's going to take them a little bit to get over that hump.
I completely agree. For the exact same reason.
Yeah.
The Browns are actually harming their chances by performing well, if that makes sense.
I can see that.
But
Texans,
that's the
like
thing
you
that-
said, and I think one of the biggest pieces for the Texans was getting rid of that damn coach.
Yes.
Yes.
So, Zolf, who are you picking?
I would say Houston.
George, go ahead and say Cleveland.
Sure, I'm going to. Do you see where the Houston Texans are? And do you think that that's going to improve? No.
All it takes is a good coach.
That's the thing.
That's what I
think
said.
they're
Like,
Well,
if you literally,
No, I think it's going to take more than just a good coach. You need players. The team has no. You cannot do it with one player.
receiving.
no,
Sorry,
but
you
they
cannot
have
do
the
it with
hardest
one
part
player.
to get.
And Bill
They already have
O'Brien, Bill O'Brien screwed that organization with all the draft picks for the next 2 years. You have nothing. He screwed you. And
Why do we-
nothing left? You have no
Did he-
first round pick for 2 more years.
Do we
No
blame him for the
first-round
first round
picks for the
pick
next 2
trades,
years.
or
Doesn't mean you can't
Yes.
trade him and get some more.
Yeah.
Who's going to trade with you?
You'd be surprised.
Listen, I know it's a far stretch, but you put JJ Watt up on the block, and somebody's going to come calling with a first round pick.
they already have?
Oh, the other thing is how much can he stay healthy?
Doesn't matter. They're
He's
offering
got
a
a
first round
problem.
pick.
He has a big problem with staying healthy for a full season.
It doesn't
That
matter.
is not a secret.
So we got
Sons,
So-
are you trading a first round pick for JJ Watt right now?
if I was what team?
Detroit.
Yes.
You're giving up
You're
your first
you're
round
insane.
pick in a top 10 pick. You're giving up a top 10 pick
Yes.
for JJ Watt right now.
Yep.
Strongest player on
You're
the defense. Yeah, you would have to. You have to put some pressure on that quarterback out. Yeah.
You wouldn't do it, George, for the Browns' first pick to put him up next to, or put him on the other end of Miles.
No.
Oh.
That's why Cleveland's always going
I
to
mean, the
come
thing
up
is
with
you're
this.
not going to have a top 10 pick right now. You're probably looking at about a pick
No,
in the
20-ish.
20s.
20-ish.
I was going to say we're into the 20s.
We're talking a first round pick.
But
But
so
nobody's, and I don't think anybody's going to go for the 20th.
well, here's
It's
where I would come from on that. So if you're a team like Cleveland, who might be, let's say it's 2 years from now, they lost the first round in 2020, they made it to the divisional round or even the AFC Championship in 2022. If you're a team like that where you are right there and you need that defensive help, somebody like Tampa Bay, I could see Tampa Bay, offering up a first-round pick that may end up being in the high 20s for defensive help now in J.J. Watt, a guy who's got experience and a guy who can mentor your young defense, I would do it.
Yeah.
You know what? I agree with that, actually. I agree with that.
Yeah, I can see it. I don't know
if it was a one key factor of player that like he was to help me get me that momentum to push me further in the playoffs, then I would say yes. But if it's a player that you're trading your first round pick for just to put on your defense because he's a great pass rusher, then no.
I was gonna say, because I think that's why nobody signed Clowney.
No, they only signed Clowney because he constantly, over his entire career, has been on and off injured. He also decided his senior year, or was it junior? I can't remember what the fuck it was. He decided to sit his ass out instead of playing for his team, and people will hold that against you. And clearly they have.
And he wanted way more money than what he was worth.
Well,
all of that is true. I can't agree. I can't disagree with anybody not signing Clowney. I mean, he wanted a ton of money that he wasn't worth.
And he's injury prone.
But that doesn't mean that after 2 or 3 or even 4 weeks into the NFL season, when he's still sitting there on the sideline and COVID, the COVID reserve list or injury reserve, it wasn't that full yet that you couldn't go back to him and go, look, you're running the risk of not playing at all this year. Here's what we're willing to offer you. And so somebody could have done it, and I bet you he might have taken it. Yeah, now you're too far in where everybody's decimated by either COVID or injuries, and now he has the leverage. He has the negotiating leverage.
Has he signed?
I don't believe so.
Because leverage don't matter to these dudes sometimes. Because what they say to you is, you fucked us before. You've screwed over our team. You've done shit to embarrass us. We're not going to pick you up. There's a reason why somebody's sitting his ass at home, not getting a team, while people who are former wide receivers on the practice squad are becoming starting quarterbacks.
I thought Clowney signed with the Titans.
He might have. I would buy into that argument, Suds, if and only if Antonio Brown hadn't gone down to Tampa Bay, because apparently scruples for the most part mean nothing in the NFL. It's about production.
To some teams, to some owners. Some owners go, you know what, fuck off. You're not joining us.
I might give you 5. I might give you out of 32. I might give you 5.
I'm sorry, Clowney did sign with the Titans, but he's on
IR.
What a shock!
He's gonna be
what a shocker!
Injured again.
Key factor what we're talking about.
I'm not playing. I mean, that's what happens when you don't play. We said the first 4 weeks of this season, how many people were hurt through the first 4 weeks? Or made it through the first 4 weeks and still were, pulling hamstrings and everything into weeks 5 and 6.
What week did Chubb get hurt?
4. What was the Dallas game?
The Dallas game, yeah.
We're also talking about a man who always gets hurt. From the time he was in college until this year.
Yeah.
How many seasons has he played?
Now.
What?
Right. Well, need to excuse me. Want to carry over here as we're going through with what the schedule looks like left. Because our freaking most favorite commentator, Chris Collinsworth, happened to turn around and talk about what was left for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And he's, their little display showed, these guys going, oh, well, hey, it's Washington, Buffalo, Cincinnati, Indy, Cleveland. Should be no big deal. It should pretty much, as long as they keep their heads and their wits about them, it should be pretty much an easy feat to complete.
I still think
they're gonna lose to Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo could turn around and bite them in the ass.
Somebody even mentioned.
Well, look at today. Look at today. How did I say this again?
Go ahead, Akers.
How did they say that the Ravens, if they had Lamar, if they had J.K., if they had Ingram, and if they had Andrews, they would have won today? That right there showed this game today that was so damn close. I would probably guarantee you that 4 players were on the offense. Their team studying what Dallas did, what Cincy did. How are they stopping them from scoring? What are they doing from what they're doing? I'm like, the Ravens are a strong team to be competing in the AFC. It just sucks because there's a lot of teams that are strong that could be competing in the playoffs right now. And they're screwing themselves by.
In the Word document, it's 3 pages, but I'm sure they have.
Between one fading out and the other one getting background noise.
If they want, because every time they lose, it's another.
Akers, we are losing you horribly, dude.
Like Miami.
Mike, we are losing you real bad, dude.
We don't want to hear it again.
I figured that because I'm right in the country. I'm in the country.
Yeah. But this week's, the thing is,
I'm on one bar.
This week's game against Washington.
Because of the defensive line?
Washington's improvements, slowly that they're quietly doing it. And they're like, what would the possibility be? Because Ben even said it himself tonight. I watched the post-game interview, and he said, we did very bad on offense. And it's true. It was a very poor performance. And if they have another poor performance against a Washington football team, which apparently isn't supposed to be all that great, if, as we said earlier in the season, the Steelers played down to their competition, could it come back to bite them in the butt? I agree. I think the Buffalo game is the one where they're going to have the biggest challenge, and if they flop, it could end up being there. But this week's game may not be such a major ordeal either.
Well, here's the thing: if Pittsburgh ends up losing that game to Buffalo and Kansas City runs the table, how do they decide?
Strength of schedule, head to head.
Who would that be right now? Kansas City would have the upper hand, or
I would say Kansas City. How when Pittsburgh is
the strength of schedule, it'll probably be Kansas City.
That's what I thought
because Pittsburgh has beat. Yeah, they're 11-0, but look at the teams that they've beaten. Hardly anybody's.
As I say,
Titans would be their best win right now.
Yeah, probably. And Kansas City's just rolling over everybody except the Raiders at one time. But
right.
I tell you what. I mean, do you think the Colts could surprise the Steelers?
Well, here's the kicker: is they've got the Colts and the Browns, and everybody's like, "Oh, yeah, the Browns." Well, it'll depend on what the situation is, what the records look like, and all that. Right. But if Cleveland wanted to be super stingy, it could happen. And Collinsworth can't believe the dork actually said. He goes, the Browns game could be one of the tougher games on their schedule.
Well, I mean, because think about it. If you get the Colts team that showed up that upset the Packers, they could easily upset the Steelers as well. But then again, you also have the same team that showed up this past Sunday against the Titans that got their ass ran right the fuck over.
Right.
I think the one game that the Steelers actually really need to watch out for. Now I understand Buffalo's got a chance to beat them, even Washington does, but the one that they need to watch out for is the Bengals, and it's not because the Bengals are good. It's because it's a division rival, and we know that rivalry gets dirty, absolutely dirty. And I wouldn't be.
Sorry. And Cincinnati could actually play a spoiler in a sense too, especially if they lose against to Buffalo, and then they play Cincinnati right after that. That could possibly give Pittsburgh 2 losses to Kansas City's 1.
Doug, who's the Cincinnati quarterback?
Doesn't matter. I mean, like you said, it's a division rival, and those games get dirty no matter what. You know, and if Cincinnati wins and gives Pittsburgh that second loss, well, guess who drops in the standings?
I look forward to some picks later on.
I don't, dude. Some of these motherfuckers. Well, I'm writing this stuff down. You know, talking all kinds of shit, and then they're going, "Well, Miami."
And I said,
here we go.
I said
the
it
Cincinnati
could.
game
I
going.
didn't say
Here we go.
will. I said it could.
Why don't we do
There's a
this,
big
George?
difference. I'm not calling the games. I'm just saying that they could play spoilers.
Backstroking right out of that shit, boy. You see that? Doing the backstroke right out of there. Woo!
Let's go ahead and take Doug all his picks right now and give everybody else the complete opposite.
Take the Cincinnati game like you were just talking about. The one key factor why Cincy lost to Pittsburgh because Burrow wanted to keep passing it over to, was it Hyde? And he's got intercepted twice on it. Well,
Higgins,
now
you
they
mean?
don't have Burrow. They don't have Burrow. They can go back and see what they were going. Yeah, he was pitching to AJ Green, correct. And they can go back and see, what were we messing up on? Well, you were messing up on because you for some reason had made him think that he can throw everything to AJ Green because that's what he was doing in the previous games.
Well, no offense. You have no Burrows and you couldn't beat the Steelers. You're not going to be in with whatever grocery bagger you have right now this quarterback.
I was going to say, you
wait
were
a minute,
very, very close to
stranger
almost saying
shit
they
has
were
happened.
better without him.
So Akers is down for the Bengals, by the way.
Yeah.
Who are they playing?
Write the shit down.
Just saying, stranger shit has happened. So
They're playing the Dolphins.
Well, I mean, you go back to I think what started it all with the Bengals and the Steelers was the Von Olofsen incident with Carson Palmer. What was that? Almost 10 years ago.
Yep.
And it's just been dirt. I mean, it's just a dirty rivalry. They always play each other cheap, and I wouldn't be surprised if at week 14 somebody took a pot shot at Ben. I just wouldn't.
Right.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, I did say they could play spoilers, you know, with that game.
Yeah, well, if Ben goes down, then yeah.
We already said that before. Once Ben goes off that field,
they're done.
There's for some reason we've already seen this. We don't know why Mason Rudolph can't play football anymore. Jokingly around about the helmet, yes, studs, but it's like since that incident, he has never been the same. And I understand getting hit in the head with an object does change things, but
yeah, it's called assault.
What about Doc?
George, could you imagine the temper tantrum that Wallencheck would throw if that happened?
and Chipper to boot too. Now let's not forget Chipper would just we'd have to stop Chipper from jumping off the 480 bridge.
Dave would be stomping his feet around the studio, throwing a little temper tantrum, arms folded.
Oh, I would bring him a little stuffed tiger if the Bengals beat the Steelers.
if there was a way for me to make it down there just to see it live, I would.
I'll come get you, Doug.
It's about a 3.5 hour trip from where you're at. Easy.
It's only two. We're only 2 hours from you, dude. We ain't that far. We ain't that far.
So you what? Straight shot down the turnpike up 23 or something?
Well, see,
right up 75.
Oh, 75.
Oh, yeah.
Suds just called the Mason Rudolph thing assault. I was sitting in my 80-year-old grandmother's living room watching that game last year, and she was born and raised in Connellsville, PA. They are lifelong Steeler fans, and I am the black sheep of the family, so I root for the Browns.
Not surprising.
To watch her freak out when that happened, and I left laughing. It was an embarrassment for sure, but I just looked at her and I said, "Don't you think that's a little bit of karma?"
Well, I say assault. I say it's assault because that's what it was. In a fight, if you bring out it was. If you bring out a weapon during a fight, you automatically
bring out a weapon.
You automatically become
what weapon? You did not have a weapon.
The helmet's a weapon.
When you swing an object, it becomes a weapon.
Equipment.
But there have been NHL players charged for assault for what's happened with a hockey stick.
Okay, but did he get charged?
No, but it is assault though. It doesn't matter whether.
But he didn't get charged with it. He got suspended. He served his penance with the NFL, but he was never criminally charged. It's not assault. It was an on the field incident. I'll give you that. Wasn't assault. And to this day, you can't tell me. You can't tell. I firmly believe that boy said something to him. Firmly believe that he said something. That Rudolph said something to Garrett.
We'll never know.
No, we won't.
Oh, I think later on.
After they both retire.
I was going to say, yeah. I think later on we'll find out something.
Well, because isn't it awfully funny how they have all this audio back in, in all these games, and that night was Mason and Baker were the two that were mic'd up.
And that 30 seconds of audio is suddenly missing? Yeah.
Did you edit that on your slide?
Oh, and George, just to go back on a point real quick, it is a 3-hour trip because you got to remember my legs. I cannot sit more than an hour in the car.
Yeah, we'll just
so you would have to stop at least 2 to 3 times on the way down.
I'll strap you to the luggage rack. You'll be fine.
I'll bring my pickup truck. You can just lay down in the bed.
Wrap him up like a Christmas tree.
I don't know. The bed might not be long enough.
It's 6.5 foot.
It's still shorter than me.
Yeah, we just throw a recliner up back there.
I'm pretty sure he's taller than I am.
You treat him like grandma and the hillbillies. Put him on the roof.
The rocking chair.
Yeah, I am 6'8".
I'm in a weak zone, so I'm just gonna cut out tonight. I'll be back. I'll be back on next week. And then I'll send my picks in. So just give me a heads up.
His ass better take. We're putting you down for the Bengals, no matter what you wrote to George. Your ass is taking the Bengals. After all your shit talking about the Bengals, he is down for the Bengals. If he put down Miami,
Suds,
really?
here you go. Suds, I'll give you one pick this week. I'm taking the Titans. All right? Have a good one.
So when he said he's in a weak zone, he's talking about his picks, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because now this one
cheap shot after he's off the air.
That's fine.
It's Akers. We're not worried about it.
Say Akers, write him down. He's taking the Bengals.
I keep looking behind Zolt. I was trying to see if that was an AT-AT behind him, and then I realized it was a lunar module.
Yeah, it's a lunar module.
I was all excited.
Sorry.
I was like, he's a Star Wars nerd too, and then I realized that he was not.
No, I'm the Star Wars nerd.
You and my son would have an excellent conversation. That boy has
Yoda got his name this week. Baby Yoda got his name.
Hey,
yeah, I know.
Hey, George, I'm going to completely derail the show. Can I completely derail the show?
Go for it.
It's already been derailed.
Okay, of the 4, you have to lose one. Star Wars universe, Marvel universe, Lord of the Rings universe, Harry Potter universe. One of them has to go.
Lord of the Rings.
Harry Potter.
Fuck off.
I was going to say, unfortunately, I'll lose Potter. I'm keeping the other 3.
Fuck you too.
I'm keeping the other 3.
Yeah, that's 3 of us.
And personally, I would choose option 5, which would be,
There's no option 5.
Wait.
There's no option 5.
Is it just
option 5?
Is it just that universe that goes, or is everything that it spawned go with?
Yeah, like everything it spawned too.
Well, without Lord of the Rings, you really don't have 2 of the other 4. Without Lord of
directly spawned.
But you did. So
I was going to say, yeah.
But without Lord of the Rings, the ideology and the mythos for the Star Wars universe is gone, because it's the fantasy realm, and that's what Lord of the Rings spawned was the fantasy genre.
And that's where Lucas got his
ideas from. So without Lord of the Rings,
you're screwed.
Star Wars is gone.
Yep.
So is Potter.
You know, the bad thing about it is I have no fucking clue what the hell you guys are even talking about.
Neither do I.
Oh, you will.
Neither do I.
Make them, instead of going that way, just make them their own solid identity as in one individual, not influencing the others. which one do you lose?
Oh, if it's just one and not influencing the others, Lord of the Rings.
Smart man. The other one's idiots. Smart man.
Best battles were in the Lord of the Rings. I don't know what you guys are smoking.
There were some great battles in Lord of the Rings, but like, listen, Mandalorian. Like, I love Star Wars, and it is one of the movies that everybody puts on the bottom of their list is Return of the Jedi, but that is my favorite Star Wars film.
No, they're not on the bottom of the list.
I've heard many people put Return of the Jedi at the bottom.
So they have the Jar Jar Binks' movie above that.
I'm talking out of the original 3.
Hatfield says Harry Potter stays and fuck anyone that says otherwise.
That's right. Thank you.
But
out of the original 3, yeah, I'd put that at number 3. But
let me guess. He messaged you that in Messenger because he's still banned from Facebook.
Yes, yeah.
Jar Jar Binks movie goes down as the worst one of all time.
I was in middle school when the prequels came out, and I really don't think they're that bad.
Mute his ass, please.
No, sorry.
But like, Rogue One is quickly taking over my spot as my favorite Star Wars flick, and
it's a very good Star Wars story.
And Mandalorian, like Thanksgiving night, I sat here in my racing chair eating pumpkin pie from the tin, drinking a beer, and watching Mandalorian. And my inner 12-year-old was screaming about how he always thought that this was going to be what adulthood was, because it was awesome.
If I start to snore, I apologize.
First, you can't include The Mandalorian in this conversation because that's a TV show versus a movie.
But it's part of the Star Wars universe.
It's part of Star Wars.
Well, we were ranking. Me and you were ranking. You can't put that as the ranking.
Right, yeah, you're ranked. You're right. I got you.
I mean,
well, it's an episodic film.
Okay.
Because Favreau did film. He did. All of it was filmed as one length.
So somebody mute him.
Hey, remember who asked to derail the show?
This is true. This is true, and happily so.
Listen, I showed up and the show already got derailed, so.
So you can't put The Mandalorian into that conversation because we're strictly talking about the movie.
And Jason Taylor pops in just in time. So welcome, Jason.
But if you put, I mean, if you want to throw a comparison, there were 7 Star Trek films? 8?
9.
9. But the
Sounds
bulk
like it's about 8 too many.
But the bulk of that was all done on TV show.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
but then they made individual movies. Now, if you come out with a Mandalorian 3-hour movie, then you can include that into this conversation.
I think that might be where it's headed eventually.
It might be, yes. That's what I would go with that. Yeah. But you can't include it yet into this conversation.
All right, can we get to something that I know about so I can actually have a say? Because I don't know a fucking clue about any of this shit.
Well, you need to be cultured then, you swine.
Me and you got to have our own show. We got to do our own show together and talk about this at length.
I'm fine with it.
I was going to say, Jason Taylor from the Three Geeks has turned around and popped in. He says he loves the Rogue One and the Mandalorian as well. Chipper's sitting here going, nerd talk. It's like, hey,
holy shit,
Chipper. For a while, we have to thank Zolt for giving us some participation ideas.
Fine, let's get back to football. Damn it.
I thought we were getting back to something that Adam knows.
Wow. Zoe.
Adam just got his feelings hurt.
No, not at all. I'm a Michigan fan. You can't hurt my feelings.
That's right. We are dead inside.
Yeah. Until we get rejuvenated when we see Harbaugh taking his shit out of his office and he's leaving fucking Ann Arbor for good.
God, I can't wait till he gets a contract extension.
Unfortunately for you, on this show, there's only you and one other person. The rest of us are, personally, I'd love him to stay because I love watching Michigan burn in big yellow and blue flames.
Here's a nice little stat for you too. Michigan State, your team,
Yeah.
Mel Tucker has 2 wins against top 10 teams in 6 games. Harbaugh has 0 in 6 years. That's fucking pathetic.
Michigan is pathetic.
Yeah, that's why we need him out of there.
Keep it. Well, that's where I like it to stay that way. That's why I need Harbaugh to stay.
No.
Go Harbaugh.
Oh,
Khakis are the best.
I'm
Hang on.
telling you, he's sticking out his contract.
And
He's
I'm
still
with
here
you.
through next year.
Since we're on Harbaugh, Dave, I'm gonna, I don't know if you saw this yet.
Yeah, I mean,
What the fuck is
in
he
the
talking?
dictionary under redundant, it says see redundant.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's talking about process and people from the outside looking in and don't understand what they're going through in the process. And I get that. But, you're not in your second year. I get that there's a process.
Yeah,
But,
we've all heard that before.
Yeah, no home wins is never part of the process.
And losing to an 0-5 team
is never part of the process.
Yeah, it was just, somebody shouldn't let him talk anymore.
Yeah, you try shutting him up.
Well, it's like
Fair enough.
it's like WWE signing the wrong one-legged wrestler. Michigan signed the wrong Harbaugh.
The other one was perfectly
I was
fine
gonna say,
with the Ravens. He ain't going anywhere.
We signed the one that was basically unemployed.
I understand. I
Yeah.
understand. I'm not saying that he was available for the job. What I'm saying is that you got
I
the wrong
understand.
Harbaugh.
You should have hired his father.
Or that too.
No, the
He's
worst thing
available. He's available as a head coach.
where they went wrong is it's on Lloyd Carr. They could have had Les Miles here, but because Lloyd Carr has a hard-on against Les Miles for whatever reason, they never signed him. He was on his way here on a flight to sign the paperwork to be the next coach, and Lloyd Carr put his kibosh on that, and that's when we went and I think hired Rich Rod or some shit, and it's been downhill ever since.
Well, you could have had Les
You're not
Miles
wrong.
again.
Yeah,
You could
there's
have had Les Miles
definitely
twice.
there's definitely a faction there somewhere behind the scenes that does not want him.
Michigan, to me, the way that the AD and the decision makers there, it reminds me of the old mentality in the Big Ten circa the mid 2000s, where you saw Ohio State getting embarrassed by the SEC, the Floridas, the LSUs, with the sleeker, slimmer offensive and defensive lines. That when the spread offense was really starting to take hold down there, and you had Tressel at Ohio State, who was still 3 yards in a cloud of dust, and punting meant everything. And I think that Michigan still is stuck in that mentality, and you're not going to advance until you join the 20th century.
Well, there's a lot of bullshit too that it seems like there's something behind the scenes where like they've kind of like, because if you look at Harbaugh's first year, especially the Ohio State game, how he was on the sidelines like throwing clipboards and doing this and that, it's almost like now he's a puppet. He's not allowed to do this or he's not allowed to say this. Like they have him, like they toned him down for whatever reason. Like there's something more to it. And then the thing is too is that Michigan seems to be more worried about education when they get the recruits than they actually do winning championships and getting players that can actually play like Ohio State.
But they are a
does.
university, so worrying about education is kind of a
right.
Kind
But
of what they do.
I understand that, but like when you look at Ohio State, look at the way they recruit compared to the way Michigan recruits. It's totally different. And why do you think Ohio State's successful and we're not?
well. That's fair. That's a fair statement. I'll give you that. I think though that I think the bit of tentativeness that goes towards Harbaugh throwing his tantrums might go back to Rich Rod a little bit, because if you remember, Rich Rod was a little animated on the sidelines too at points.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to say. It's kind of sad to think that at this point Rich Rod's a little bit better than Harbaugh was. Or is.
He's not a little bit better. He's a lot better. Look back at the records.
Has Harbaugh, in his 6 years there, has Harbaugh won a bowl game?
One.
Yeah.
No. Did he win one?
I
think
thought he did.
Yeah, I think he's like
so.
1-4 or 1-5.
And
Well,
they've had
he got into a bowl It was a bad year. He got into one of those cheap ass toilet bowls and won an easy one.
And they've made no appearances in the Big Ten title game.
No, not that I can remember.
No.
And
A Big Ten title game? I thought they did. No, because
And
they split it.
He's
Here's
1-4.
some-
He's 1-4 in bowl games, 2-12 against the AP top 10, 0-5 against Ohio State.
And he's 0-11 as an underdog. 11-16 versus top 25 teams. And the biggest one of all, 0 division titles and 0 Big Ten titles.
So here's, even if Harbaugh, let's say Harbaugh gets fired and you get another coach in there. Until you change the mentality at the university, it's not going to matter who you install at the top.
It's like the Lions.
Exactly. Until the
Sounds like a
mentality.
Michigan problem.
Well,
Which mentality are you talking about?
I think that they need to join their contemporaries in the Big Ten.
You mean join the 20th century?
Yes, and change up their offensive and defensive style. From what I have seen, they still play that classic.
Smash
What?
mouth.
What, the Tecmo Bowl playbook?
Yes.
It was literally why they brought Rich Rod in.
And that failed.
Yes.
Miserably.
But if you look at what Rich Rod did at West Virginia, at the time, West Virginia was in the ACC, weren't they? Were the ACC or the Big East?
Big East, I think.
Big. So look at the teams you're playing in the Big East. It's easy to stand out. It's easy to stand out when you're the fastest kid in the slow class.
This is true.
And you have to be able to come to the Big Ten and recruit. And when you have teams like Ohio State and they're recruiting against you, it's hard to get that. You're getting the scraps.
Well, you got to understand,
Getting what's left over.
The biggest problem for Michigan right now is when they were successful, the Charles Woodsons and your Desmond Howards came from Ohio. They've lost that pipeline. They cannot get kids from Ohio to come to Michigan, like the good players. That's what, they need to get back into that to actually have some talent, because that's one of the big things on them is that they can't recruit Ohio right now.
Here's my biggest thing with it. Harbaugh's, besides having an NFL pedigree, the biggest thing when they brought him in, quarterback guru.
Yeah, okay.
What has he done with any quarterback so far?
He hasn't recruited one.
Milton.
Exactly.
I was gonna say Milton was.
How can he not
supposed
have
to be
recruited?
somebody.
He's had he's had 30 quarterbacks on his team. He's got to have recruited one of them.
Yeah, the two he has right now are the two that he recruited himself. They're part of his recruiting class, McNamara and him, and Milton.
McNamara didn't look bad. It's just, and who was the kid that left? McCaffrey. He'd be starting now if he had stayed.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they've got the kid coming in next year who's a 5-star.
JJ.
But, yeah.
And where did McCaffrey go, by the way?
He hasn't yet. He's still in the transfer portal.
Oh, he is.
Rumor has it he's going to go to Nebraska to play with his younger brother.
I think part of it comes from impatient fans, and I don't necessarily mean you or Zolt. I mean,
shit, you can go ahead and say it. I'm impatient as fuck. I'm tired of losing.
Say, at this point, I'm pretty damn impatient.
That's not what I mean.
Yeah,
that's not necessarily what I mean. So, if you listen to Cleveland Sports Talk on any given Sunday in the last 4 years, the quarterback could have gone out and gone 15 for 18 for 200 yards with 2 interceptions and 2 TDs, and we're talking about the draft pick and how we need to draft a quarterback. There's been so much emphasis put on that position that I don't think anybody could live up to the expectations of fans. And fan bases get overwhelmingly impatient to the point where it is detrimental to that team, because that player might feel like he is on such a short hook, whether deservedly or undeservedly so, that he's afraid to make a mistake. And I think, especially as a young quarterback in the Big Ten or the SEC or the Big 12, You need to be able to go out there, make your mistakes, learn from them, and have the backing of your coaches, and not be under the sort of Damocles thinking that it's going to fall on you at any given moment.
Well, the thing is too is the thing that I think aggravates a lot of us Michigan fans is, and I know think back to the Ohio State game a few years back. Barrett goes down and Haskins comes in, doesn't fucking miss a beat. We've been through how many fucking quarterbacks, and we can't get our backups to do shit either. You know what I'm saying? So that's the frustrating part, is to see that you got Barrett goes down, Haskins comes in, you guys are going to win a national championship.
I'm not a Buckeyes fan though.
Yeah, we're not seeing any development.
No, not at all.
Exactly.
Well, I could say the same thing about Texas. Like
surprisingly, Herman hasn't done shit there.
And the thing with Texas that boils my blood every time I watch them play is they will get their offense clicking, but for some reason in the Big 12 and Texas especially, defense is optional. Like if you could learn to rush the passer and get off the field on third down, you could go undefeated in the Big 12 because nobody knows how to play defense over there.
Oh, that's always been Oklahoma's biggest problem.
Welcome, Marcy and Steve. And Mike, I see, has been in. He's been chatting away here. He's sitting there joking around saying Luke Fickell to Penn State or Michigan. And he says, look at Notre Dame. Brian Kelly has one of the toughest places to coach with recruiting and academics, and he turned out just fine.
They haven't won yet, though.
He said, unlike Harbaugh.
Yeah, he's got the wins, but he still hasn't got championships, though.
But he's at least been to one.
Oh, he's really stretching here. He said, hell, Saban can coach up at Michigan and still only have a 4-win season. I don't know about
Saban
that.
brings 4 wins with him.
I was going to say, Saban,
you get a 4-game. You get a plus
jumps
4
on the plane. Saban just gets on the plane and there's 4 wins.
He has 4 wins in his pocket. It's in his carry-on.
Yeah, he's checked it in with the luggage.
You're never pulling Saban out of Alabama.
No.
But here's my thing, though. That's the next big problem. Harbaugh does leave.
Yeah,
Who the fuck you hired?
I don't know.
I don't think
that's the thing. Like we've talked about the different coaches that they had, who they could have had, and the different factions, and they hate Les Miles. This guy hates, they hated Rich Rod a couple of years in. Harbaugh was the one that they all liked. All the different factions could agree on him. Exactly. So I don't know. I have no clue.
Because I'm so sick and tired of hearing about the Matt Campbell.
You know what? The best compromise is when nobody's happy.
Yeah, right.
So if you get a head coach that all the factions hate, then you went the right direction.
Well, here's the thing. When do they like you said, Harbaugh leaves, and who do you go with? Do the alums finally get it and go, okay, think outside the box? We need somebody who is offensive minded oriented and stronger than what you've had in the past.
And you know what you do?
You do not go get the Michigan man.
You call up South Carolina and get a hold of Clemson because they know how to beat Ohio State. They've proven it. Any one of them coaching staff, any of them guys out that coaching staff would probably be better than what we have now.
At the OC.
I mean, if that's all you're worried about is beating Ohio State, you're
going to have to if you want to do anything.
But you've got to be able – listen, you've also got to be able to beat the Notre Dames and the Wisconsins.
We don't got to worry about Notre Dame until, 2033.
That's not the point.
But you're still fighting through. You still have to get Wisconsin. Minnesota's getting a little bit stronger sneakily. They're under the radar right now. Nebraska's always
with what, 1 win?
Nebraska.
You still got to beat top 25 teams.
You got a big set of shoes to fill.
You got to understand it. As Michigan fans, we don't give a fuck about that. You beat Ohio State, you go 1-9. That 1 win against Ohio State, we're happy.
Well, okay. Well, then let's let Harbaugh beat Ohio State.
Well, you're there. What you bitching about?
No,
we haven't beat Ohio State.
No,
but you got your 1 win.
Zolt
Nope.
Zolt, go ahead, Zolt.
No, I'm sorry. I am not in that boat.
Well, I'm just saying that's what you hear a lot from the Michigan fan base.
That
you know
is
what I'm
what
saying?
you hear a lot from a large proportion of the fan base, but no, fuck that. Hell no. I want to be competitive, and when I say that, I want to be competitive in the Big Ten, and I want to be talking about the playoffs.
Playoffs.
That's what I want.
Can I at least sniff the playoffs? You know what I mean? Like be close?
Dude, just being mentioned in the friggin' conversation would be nice.
I would just like to go to Indy.
There you
That's
go.
a start.
Well, then that requires beating top 25 teams.
Yeah, it does.
And that requires you to not worry about Ohio State because you could still
just
lose.
Ohio. You have to worry about everybody, so you have to get an overall scheme and not just against one team.
Yeah, I mean, if you're hiring a coach for one game a year, you deserve what you get.
Right, because
Can I ask?
You have to beat Alabama. You are going to have to put yourself on the schedule. You have to play the top 4 or 5 teams. You have to play Clemson. You have to play Alabama. You have to play LSU. You know, pick somebody. You're going to have to. You have to win against them. Just not, as Zolt said, just not as Ohio State. You want to be competitive. You're going to have to put the brass balls up on the table and go, bring in Saban. Come on.
So here's my question. When is the Ohio State-Michigan game coming? When is the date
Next
again?
week, isn't it?
The 12th.
Yeah, the 12th. You got 10 days.
Who's saying Michigan cancels the game because of COVID?
I've been saying that for 3 weeks.
Herb Street made that comment.
Yeah, Herb Street made the comment.
Definitely apologized for it after.
Oh, yes, he did, because it has been whispered in the back, and I brought it up too. I brought it up as well, especially once we found out that Ohio State had to cancel theirs. And it's like, well, how weird would that be that Michigan, it ends up getting frauded? Harbaugh would turn around and go down. Not only would he never coach again, he would not have a job ever.
Barry Alvarez
would give the Big Ten program itself the biggest black eye ever.
Would never happen.
You want to talk about seriously losing out on recruits?
Would never happen, and Sal's is going to give you the reason why, because that won't happen.
Barry Alvarez already addressed that today in a press conference, and without assured that game would happen because of all of those reasons, because of where Ohio State is. They're ranked number 4. They currently are the 4th seed in the playoffs. They would be representing the Big Ten. You can't. Ohio State going to the playoff means more money for the Big Ten overall because of TV money. So you are jeopardizing money going to Purdue, money going to Northwestern, money going to Indiana, all these other schools that are dependent on that TV money during football season. And if Michigan screws them on that, you will see not only a black eye on the Big Ten, but I really think it would be the downfall of the Big Ten as we know it. I think it would split and become a 5 or a 6 team conference with, maybe Ohio State, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan State, Penn State, and say Illinois or Indiana. You might see that conference really shrink.
With all respect to every other team in the Big Ten, this is the game that we played for, to make sure they got this game in. And I made the half joke before this all started. Make that game week 1.
Right.
Because you don't know if you're going to get to that week.
That's correct. Because you did say that. Because
that was part of the talk about when they were redoing all these scheduling, is that they were going to put that as the first game. And I think they should have.
I want to jump down a rabbit hole, because Zolt just brought it up, and I want to jump down a rabbit hole just to test the water, see what everybody's thinking. Let's say they make that game week 1 and Ohio State loses. Where does that put it now well, right. I mean, you celebrate, but where does that put put Ohio State in the national conversation now that we are at what, week 8, week 10 in the season, and we are approaching the playoffs?
Well, there were two problems. First and foremost, the Big Ten, right now they're finding out that if they would have kept to the original start dates, they would have been fine. But they didn't, because if they would have kept to their original start dates, they had weeks in there where there were bye weeks, just like the NFL, where they had the shifting possibilities to move the games around.
I understand that.
And they blew that. And they blew that. If they would have turned around and set this up and kept to their original format, I think right now we would not be having this conversation. And last weekend we would have had the big game, and it would have been done and over with. Well, I'm sorry, if it was paused for this week's, because it would be the week of, it's getting postponed, and you're still getting the big game.
Yeah, we got time to make that up.
You got plenty of time to make it up.
Well, didn't they postpone the Iron Bowl as well?
No, they just played that last week.
Did they play? Who won?
Alabama. Crushed them.
I didn't watch any college football last weekend. None.
So I want to know the over/under on how bad Ohio State beats Michigan. George, 30 points or more?
To tell you the truth, I had not gone into thinking about it yet. I don't even know what even an early line out would be, because I know, we've heard the whole tongue-in-cheek thing about whooping them by 100.
I don't
It's
think
gotta
it's
be
tongue-in-cheek
plus-
at this point this time.
It's got to be plus 10.
It's
It's easy plus 10.
if I
Right,
had
Bubba.
if I had to go about maybe, I don't know, I'd say by 17. If we're looking at a realistic situation.
You must obviously not watch Michigan play this year.
Yeah, but I've also watched Ohio State play, so I'm gonna say 7. I'm gonna go with 17. I'm gonna say 17. Ohio State's looked very sloppy towards the end of games, and that's why the scores, even though they've been they can dominate through the first 3 quarters, but almost turn into the Atlanta Falcons going into the fourth. So,
well, hell, they almost lost to Indiana.
I'm going to safely say they could sit there and be up 45-3, but yeah, I'm going to say by 17.
Zolt?
I'm saying it's going to be more than that. It's probably going to be 24.
That's kind of where I was thinking, 24 to 27 range. 30, I think, is a little too high.
I'm gonna go less than 10 or less.
Oh, so you think it's going to be a close game?
Really?
I don't know. I don't necessarily think it's going to be a close game. I think the final score is going to be closer than the actual game, because of Ohio State's inability to close it out and close it out convincingly.
Mary Clark says 15. Colleen says 21. Chipper says less than 30. Chipper, pick a number, man. Come on. Come on, man. Pick
There's
a number.
29 other numbers, Chipper.
Yeah.
George, did you happen to see the reply to Herb Street from Michigan Athletic Director Ward Manuel?
No, go ahead.
I'm literally going to read it verbatim.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it's ridiculous. I have to pause because my words, the anger, I was infuriated by the insinuation that Michigan would do anything other than play a football game. We've been playing this game since 1879.
And you haven't been this bad since then.
We're the winningest program for a reason, because we play whoever's in front of us. The only way we want to keep anybody from moving on is to beat them on the field as a player. To insinuate that, to say something other than that, is a statement by a fool. It is something, I can't tell you how embarrassed I am for the Big Ten Conference to have one of their representatives who played this game to say that about any team in this conference. And to say it about college football and the student athletes around this country who are trying to play games during a pandemic. It is ridiculous, and it is sad.
And this is not the first time that Herb Street has opened up his mouth and put his foot right in it. He turned around and the same thing happened when he criticized up with Ohio State too. And it just seems like it's not the first time that he just opens up his big mouth and it's like he doesn't think before he says something.
I don't kind of like it's funny too because Dez just had to do this. Well, Dez hasn't had to apologize yet, but he pissed off a lot of people with his comments today or yesterday or something this week too, talking about Ohio State's not even in the top 14.
Okay, well, who do you put number 4?
Well, you get the problem you have is you have your Clemson, you have Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, and say Florida or Texas A&M. Well, Florida and Texas A&M have already played each other. Alabama and Florida will probably play each other, so somebody's got to get a loss. So then at this point, it circles back to if you don't throw in Ohio State, you can't throw in Cincinnati. Can you?
You could.
You know how pissed off. You know how pissed off UCF's going to be after that.
But listen, you didn't say should you. You said could you, and you could. Doesn't mean you should.
Right.
Clint says 35-21, by the way, for a final.
So 14.
He went by 14.
I'm taking over 30.
I was thinking 31.
So you two are the only ones so far on the over on that.
I'm in the 28 to 31 range. And that's just for the first half.
And
that's just for the first. Did you say the first half?
First half, yes, he did say
I think
that.
this is going to be an ass whooping.
It could be.
Well, think about it. The last two years has been what, 60? What was it? Almost 70 the one year, and then what was it last year? 62 or something? Or 62? No, I'm saying for the total. What Ohio State?
No, I'm saying how much is Ohio State going to beat Michigan by?
No, I'm saying at least 28 to 31.
28 to 31 points.
And Michigan's going to get all their bullshit in the garbage time against like the kids that'll be fucking red, all the redshirt kids that'll get to play.
So you don't think Ohio State's going to look to run up the score?
No, I think they will. I'm hoping they do.
Oh yeah, come on.
I'm hoping they put the 100 on the board so that way we can. Maybe that way Manuel and the rest of the boosters will be like, you know what? Yeah, this dude just lost our biggest rival, the worst loss in our history in the game. I think we need to get rid of his ass.
Well, how far do you have to go to draw this line? Because they're already the worst team in Michigan history, aren't they?
Pretty much.
No wins, no home wins, right? First time ever. How many wins did they got? Did they got 1 or 2 wins?
2.
They got 2 wins. How many losses?
4.
They're 2-4.
Sounds right.
What's the worst record Michigan's ever had? I don't remember in my lifetime. I don't remember in my lifetime Michigan ever being under 500. To be honest with you,
they were under 500 under Carr once.
They had more than 2 wins.
Right, but they were still. He said he doesn't remember.
I don't remember the last time they were under.
But they were
500.
They were under 500 once under Carr.
I mean, it's cool. We're a basketball school now.
How long ago was that, though?
How long ago was that?
Yeah.
Hang on, they were under 500 in 2014. They were 5-7.
Okay, so what's been the worst?
Rich Rod, I think he was what, 3-9?
2008 at 3-9.
Is that the year they lost to Appalachian State?
No.
We don't talk about that.
That was 2000.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
That was Rich Rod. Come on.
In 1967, they were 4-6. In 65, they were 4-6. In 63, they were 3-4-2. They were 2-7 in 62.
If we've learned anything about college football over the last 10 years, is that it's become extremely cyclical.
Yeah. I mean, as far as the modern football game goes, I'm not even going to go back into the 30s.
I found a couple 1-7-0.
Yeah, 1 and 7s were in the 30s.
Oh, we can scratch out the 1930s.
Yeah, like I
But-
said, I mean, if you really wanted to get technical, 1881, they were 0-3. That was the only time they were.
Yeah, right.
That was the only time they were in 0-3.
So this could potentially be in our lifetime the worst U of M team ever in our lifetime.
Yeah, there were some bad teams in the 60s, but that's
not my lifetime. Fuck off.
It isn't mine.
Hey, it's still a BC. It's a before Chris.
That's right.
Yeah. So,
But it wasn't before
far as the
Demon.
modern game goes, yes, this could be. But like I said, in 2008 they were 3 and 9.
That was Lloyd Carr, though, right?
Rich Rod.
Yeah, it was Rich Rodriguez.
2008, yeah.
That was the first. That was Rich Rod's first year.
Okay, what were they the year before in Lloyd Carr's last year?
9 and 4.
Okay.
11 and 2 and 9 and 4.
Michigan got cocky thinking they could do something better than Lloyd Carr, and
they went
they got
3 and 9, 5 and 7, and 7 and 6.
They got smacked in the face,
they literally dismantled everything they had.
and they literally ruined U of M.
If
And
they
that's why
keep-
we're at the situation we're in now.
If
Yeah.
they don't get rid of Lloyd Carr between 2009 and 2015, you think they win a national championship?
Yes, because Lloyd Carr was never given the option of changing. He could have. Just because you're stuck in one thing doesn't mean you have to stick your team in the same position. He could have went out and got an offensive coordinator to change things up, seeing he's going in the wrong direction, and stuck with his defense and could have changed his defense if he chose to. Was he really given the opportunity to? I mean, look, if you look at Lloyd Carr's record, and I think, but he's had a real. If you take Harbaugh and the rest of them, you look at what you want Lloyd Carr. You would love Lloyd Carr's record back. I mean, you didn't really give him a chance to change or the option to change. You said, fuck you, we're going to fire you. We're going to go get this guy. And he turned out to be complete shit. Then you got rid of him. And then he turned out to be complete shit. And you got rid of him. And he turned out to be complete shit. And you've done it, 4 coaches in a row?
Well, how many coaches had since Lloyd Carr? How many coaches have you had?
At least 3 that I can think of.
It's only been 3. Hang on a second. It's only been 3. The Rich Rod took you right into the garbage. Brady
Harbaugh.
Brady Hoke, yeah.
Brady Hoke, the job was too big for Brady Hoke.
11 and 2 his first year. 8 and 5, 7 and 6, 5 and 7. He started falling right off.
Yeah, diminishing returns.
Because he was using Lloyd Carr's players.
Well,
and then he got his own.
That's Rich through Rich Rod.
Richard.
That was 4 years. Brady Hoke was there 4 years. Rich Rod had.
Who was right after Lloyd Carr?
Rich Rod was right
Rich
after
Rod.
Lloyd Carr for 3 years. There was no more Lloyd Carr. Okay, Hoke was there for 4 more. Then came in Harbaugh. Now let me give you this: 10 and 3, 10 and 3, 8 and 5, 10 and 3, 9 and 4. Now you're down to 2 and 4.
But we're on the 3 years. On the 3 years that he was 10 and 3, what were the losses other than Ohio State?
Michigan State, Notre Dame, Wisconsin, Penn State.
Michigan State.
Yeah, I was gonna say, son, shut up before I have to mute you for them. Even though I think
that's fine. I thought it was hilarious that it was like it came out at the same time. It was hilarious.
Yeah, that is true. But it's winning records versus the previous 8 years. You had barely two years of winning record.
I'll go with you, George. I'll punt it to you. Go ahead.
You've got much more winning years here, and that's why, of course, everybody's like, yeah, it's going to be over. Harbaugh is going to be fired.
No,
like
they're,
Seth
they're,
says,
they're not.
They're not going to fire him.
No.
He's going to have to walk because it's been winning record.
Okay. They're literally they are writing this year off completely.
because of
including
COVID.
They will say that's it. They will say
They're
it's a
just saying
COVID
it's weird
year.
circumstances. It is what it is. Now, what this does is prevent them from extending him.
Oh,
True.
extend him. Extend him. Please extend him.
as of right now, Harbaugh technically has a winning record.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's
Yeah.
It's just that he
10-3,
loses to the wrong people.
He has
Yes,
three
he does.
seasons of 10-3, a 9-4, and an 8-5.
Michigan is in the John Cooper era of right now. We are in our John Cooper
Very
era.
similar. It is
Yeah.
very similar.
Yeah.
Well, all right. Is there any part of the fan base or the alum or the decision makers at Michigan that kind of chalk this year up to what it is?
I think a lot of people are.
Well, there's a lot of people that they say retain Harbaugh, but wipe everybody else out and start over fresh with offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and so on and so forth.
Because why are you keeping Harbaugh?
That's my whole point. If you're gonna blow it up, blow it all up.
I was gonna say you're all you can do is ask him to do that. That's about it.
Right.
I mean, sure, the AD can go through and just start canceling people out, but all you're doing is just, you're submarining your own head coach. So, I mean, I would expect him to make changes after this year.
Well, you need a minimum.
Right, Jared.
But why? Like
Who,
I said,
Harbaugh?
if they're already saying that they're writing this year off because of COVID and how the shortened schedule and everything else is gone, and this guy's got 6 years of winning record, and 3 out of those being huge, they're really big winning seasons. Why are you going to turn around and get rid of him?
Well, I'm not saying you're getting rid of Harbaugh. Harbaugh is going to make some coaching adjustments, though. He has to. Just because, you can write off this year as well. Oh, well, it just, this was just a freak year. Fine. But at the same time, you came into the season saying you were ready to play, and obviously you weren't. So something went wrong.
Something went terribly wrong. But here's the thing. So if you write this year off, let's say next year is closer to what we're used to than what this year has been as far as season setup, things like that. They actually get a training camp. Maybe there are some semblance of fans back in the stands. It's more of a traditional season, August to November, than what this has been.
I think we're going to have that.
I do too. I absolutely believe that. But
I believe we are.
Let's say Harbaugh goes 11-2 or 10-3 again next year with the new coaches that he has in place. It's a contract year. You're going to have to extend him.
They extend him. If that happens, they extend him.
You would have to.
He loses to Ohio State again?
Yeah.
Even if he loses to Ohio State.
You still have to extend him.
10-3, yes, you have to
He's
extend
10-3 again next year.
Yeah.
I'm tired of being third in the Big Ten East or whatever division. I'm tired of being third all the time. We need to get above the hump.
As am I, but I remember the Rich Rod years.
Oh, please extend him.
Yeah.
Sons is like, please.
I need to focus us because we need to get back to the NFL because
we are out. We haven't made a pick yet.
But
we take an hour.
In all fairness, it's an excellent conversation.
I don't know. We're talking about Michigan football. How good could it have been?
The funny thing is the chat has been blowing up. And I mean, we've got excellent points that have just been flying.
I actually want to respond to one comment that I saw.
Go for it.
From Chipper. He asked me, what did I expect the AD to say?
Nothing.
I expected him to say exactly what he said, because the comment about us not playing so we don't get killed, that's an integrity issue. There is no integrity issue with that team.
No, at this point, you're going to see how bad it's going to be in 2 weeks.
That's the thing. If you walk away from that game, you are taking that game away from your players.
One game.
Those players deserve to play in that game. And they probably are going to get destroyed. And they probably know that going in. All you got to do is look at the damn record.
Well, I love these people.
I remember calling my stepmother a bitch, and I knew what was going to happen to me afterwards.
I think it's so funny. You get these people in some of these Michigan chat groups that are like, "Oh yeah, they're doing so bad now. They're going to come out and surprise Ohio State." I'm like, "Are
No,
you
they're
fucking delusional?"
No, they're not.
I don't necessarily know that they're delusional, but
They are.
if you have nothing to lose, then you play with no fear, and I think that they might
He's
put
been
up
playing with no fear for the past 6 years.
but you understand what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
especially in a game with the magnitude of Ohio State, you may not win, but I think it'll be a lot closer and a lot more of a fight than Ohio State is.
All right, I'll give you an example of why you're wrong. I have no fear about playing against LeBron James, but I know I'm losing by 50. 50 to nothing.
I was going to say, take a year where Michigan has, say, 3 losses already in a normal schedule. You could make that argument going into this game. I have seen nothing this year to indicate they have a chance.
You had to go to 3 overtimes to beat Rutgers.
Listen, I'm not saying that they're going to win, and I'm not saying that they have a chance. I'm saying that they might play a little bit tougher than you're giving them credit for.
Oh, hey, maybe it won't be a 30-point blowout.
That's all I'm saying is that
it'll be 40.
More power to you.
And what's up, Chris Wallace?
I was being nice at 30.
Good to see you, Chris.
I mean,
we're a little bit.
I mean, we're talking about Michigan football. It's way better than talking about Detroit Tigers baseball.
Yeah. Well,
More lights.
Yeah, I was gonna say
they're gonna start cheating this year.
Yeah.
You know what? The one thing I missed about this season was watching the Houston Astros get beamed all season long. That is the one thing I missed about having a regular baseball season.
Doug, real quick on the baseball, and Chipper, you can jump in here too. Marcy did turn around and ask, what the thoughts were on Kyle Lewis or Robert, as far as rookies, on what your thoughts were. But
did you see the roster moves that were made?
I don't even know who those people are.
Kyle Schwarber is out in Chicago.
Joe Buck's boyfriend is out of Chicago?
Yes, he is.
Hey, did you hear about Joe Buck?
Nobody cares.
We actually, on the top 10 show, we voted Joe Buck as the worst sports commentator on our top 10 list. Quentin and I actually had the same.
I thought you were going to say he finally came out of the closet.
Yeah.
No, he got because of this whole COVID situation and lack of job opportunities, he got another offer to commentate during a porno. He was
way.
He was offered $1 million to commentate during a porno.
Why would you even want to do that?
Only get this kind of news here, by the way. Just to let you all know, you come to our show, you get this kind of news.
And $1 million. They asked him what his porno name was. He goes, "I don't need to change it. It's perfect." Joe Buck.
That's true.
1 minute before, now it's 10 o'clock. But yet. It is now.
Yep, it's 10 o'clock.
I see 959.
Oh no, I've got 10 across the board.
Yep, I got 10.
It's after dark.
What's the matter?
You said it 2 minutes ago.
No, I started. It's when I finished. That's the important part.
Your clock is like your clock is like the Michigan football team late and behind.
All right. With that being said, let's get on our
picks.
Leave it with the
picks.
How bad were my picks last weekend?
Well, you matched up with Doug.
Ouch.
So, Bruiser, what you do this week is you take every pick that Doug takes and pick the opposite.
Now, what happens if I agree with you guys?
No, because remember, that's only a couple picks behind everybody else. So.
I was slightly impaired last Wednesday.
We know.
That's okay.
You think?
You were playing NASCAR and you kept on turning right.
I was on a road course, asshole.
It's all that matters. If I can get someone to call me a name, I win.
Yep. This is true.
My job here is to piss you off.
Yes.
And that's not that hard to do.
I'm good at it.
I have
kind
Vicodin,
of
and
my
I don't have
job.
to go back to work for another week. I'm good.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
All right, let's go on to the natural disasters.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to the Raiders first.
Tugboat and earthquake?
Ah,
Dude,
First game
WWF,
up.
thank you.
First game
I
up.
knew that reference.
All right. First game up is Browns at the Titans. Got a couple of homer picks here. Ryan took the
Of course.
Browns. Big D took the Browns. Akers, Sean, and Shrods all took the Titans.
You guys just pick straight up, right? You guys don't pick
Yeah.
spread.
Correct.
Yeah, straight up.
This is
Straight up.
straight up. You pick it for real. Doug,
Oh, gee, thanks.
we'll start off with you, sir. Hey, I've given you 2 people took
Look.
Browns, 3 people took Titans.
Doug is the canary in the coal mine.
Yeah, just about. Oh, God. Let's go Browns. Fuck it.
Yep, that's it. Titans.
There you go.
Check that off.
Right now, Burridge is at the bowling alley going, "Oh no, he didn't."
Yep.
Yes,
And
he
everybody else is
did.
going. And everybody else is going Titans. I bet.
I was just gonna say, Suds.
Titans.
I already know where you're going. Zolt, who would you like?
Oh, so that's why you gave me the
Going-
first.
I'm going with the better quarterback and the more explosive receivers. Give me Tennessee.
And betting running back.
I said more
gonna
explosive
say-
receivers. Yeah,
Adam.
yeah. Just give it to me.
Give me the Titans. I think Henry's going to go off this week.
Bruiser.
Getting Garrett back. I like the tandem of Chubb and Hill. I'll take the Browns.
All righty.
Ian
Go ahead,
Bolt.
Homer. Who are you taking, George?
Titans.
Good man.
It's in Tennessee. If it was home, I'd think about it a little bit more.
Henry's
next-
gonna run the fuck over.
Next
you.
up, the
Hope so.
we can't even say Jekyll and Hyde. I have no freaking clue. The Raiders are at the Jets.
Oh,
Big-
Jesus.
Big D. Yeah, I mean, we're going back to prison inmate games all
Doug.
of a sudden.
Look, Doug, right here. Don't do it.
At Big D took the Jets. Sean, Shrods, and Ryan took the Raiders. Adam, I'll go to you first.
God, this would be a good time to actually take the Jets, per
Well,
se.
a couple people did.
It,
Doesn't mean I'm going to, though.
it's I after watching the Raiders fall apart, I'm going, who the hell were those guys? That wasn't the same team that was not the same team that almost beat the Chiefs.
Jets have
Oh, it was
one or
not.
2 wins.
Jets have none.
That's
None.
a zero.
Zero.
Oh.
And the Raiders may have played bad, but they got 6 points out of it. That's all they need. They can beat the Jets. So I'm going to go with the Raiders just because the Jets are just that bad.
Suds?
I am going to take the Raiders.
You didn't sound.
No,
you sounded
I think
good.
this is gonna be an ass whooping. I mean, they're gonna come out pissed. They're gonna be upset at what they did last week. They're embarrassed. They're gonna come out and take it out on the Jets.
Hopefully the turf monster don't get nobody.
Well, I was just going to bring that up. Guess what snowstorm is headed for Sunday?
The one that just buried Cleveland under a foot of snow?
Uh-huh. And New England, New York, and everybody over there, they are going to get exactly what just tattooed us yesterday. Bruiser, who would you like?
I'll take the Jets. And it's not because I really think that they're a better team. I think they are
Due for a
better.
win.
I partially that, but I also think that they are more equipped to play in a slogfest of a game, especially in the snow, in an open air stadium in New Jersey, in the cold weather. You know,
Doug, you needed him to be in this league the entire time.
Clint says Sam Mono gets his first win. He says, yeah, with the Raiders, he goes, you can't lose to the Falcons that bad. It's true.
Yeah, but they were also all talking about the Jets. Come on, you cannot lose to the Jets.
Let's defend Atlanta a little bit. Yeah, they lost some big games, but they were fucking people up in the first half of the majority of those games. They screwed the pooch in the third and fourth quarter, but they're not a bad team. They had a mental handicap moment, but it appears they're over that and have moved on.
You know, they're just getting charged with assault. Jesus, I cannot believe when I saw that final score. I about shit. I'm like 43-6.
Yeah.
That's
Zolt,
an ass whooping.
who would you like?
I'm actually going to agree with Suds on exactly his talking points. Raiders got embarrassed. They're going to be out for
I knew
blood.
you were a smart man.
The weather is going to be a factor, so I think it's actually going to be closer than people might expect. And I'm also really monitoring Josh Jacobs, not just because he's on my damn team.
He's injured too, right?
Well, everybody's monitoring Josh
he has an
Jacobs.
ankle sprain. He did not practice today. So definitely paying attention to that.
But today's
I'm taking the
Wednesday,
Raiders.
nobody practiced.
Exactly. Yeah, there is that. Definitely taking the Raiders. And for the record, just so we'll get to it when we get to it. There are 4 games with double-digit spreads this week. That is not one of them.
Wow.
Doug?
Don't do the Raiders thing because they don't deserve it. Just say Raiders.
Yeah. Well, if it does snow there, well, you're not gonna get pounded.
He's gonna take the Jets.
No. I'm thinking, more of the running backs with Booker versus Gore, because with all that snow, it's going to be a running game, and it's going to come down to those two players and who's the better of the two. Slight edge to Booker. So Raiders, but barely.
So Raiders by 20. Got it.
I'm going on the limb. I'm taking the Jets.
Yeah, he waited till Doug picked.
Yep.
No, I'm thinking this is where the one win comes in. I got a weird feeling Akers will be on that too. Next up,
Don't worry, Doug. It sounds like you'll have
Vikings
many people in the
against
doghouse.
the Jags.
Yep, that's fine.
Who is
What was that, George?
Jags are at the Vikings. Excuse me.
Jags.
Jaguars at the Vikings. Mike Glennon is starting quarterback again this week.
Well, there's your trade partner for Stafford. Jags.
Again, the Houdini Minnesota Vikings and the Jags. Suds.
Taking the Vikings. As long
Adam.
as Devin Cook's playing, we're okay.
Yeah, I'll go Vikings too.
Yeah, Thielen is supposed to be playing in this game, so.
My
Bruiser,
fantasy roster will be happy.
right?
I'll take the Vikings.
Zolt,
Minnesota cooks all day.
Doug.
Minnesota.
Fuck.
Yeah,
Well,
we're
it's just enough. I think it's an obvious.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Yeah, that's first of the double-digit spreads. That's Vikings by 10 right now.
Wow.
The next one up, believe at the moment Tua is cleared to play. Bengals at the Dolphins.
Well, give Akers Bengals.
Yeah, put it down. He said it on air. I heard his ass. Put it down.
No.
Rewind the tape. Rewind the
He
tape.
said. That is not what he said.
Rewind the tape.
Clint says couldn't type with a straight face. Raiders by 20. Okay, Clint. Oh, Suds. Uh-oh.
What?
Suds? He said Raiders by 20.
Oh, wow.
I'll take that.
But
Clint.
I got 5 on it, baby.
Mr. Alexander, would you like to make a little wager with Mr. Suds?
Clint, being a diehard Raider fan, do not take that bet. Do not take that bet.
we're
Backtrack that 20 a little bit.
Clint, would you like to retract the statement, or would you like to
Not take that
those
back.
20 points? I will totally make sure I keep an eye out on that comment box, Clint. Mr. Sudbury is always ready and awaiting on. I can't even. God,
Come on, Clint. I'll be your Huckleberry.
If I still have my beard,
Suds,
that
I
would
saw
even be a
this
beard
comment
back.
and I had to smile right away and tell you about it. Oh, now he's saying, "Oh, this is my answer." Car point.
Oh,
Come on, Clint.
He bailed.
Mr.
He
Sudbury
bailed.
would like to know if you would like to take the bet by 20. Suds is chomping at the bit.
Yeah, I could hear his lips chomping.
Yeah. Mr. Zolt, thank
Give me the fish. Give me the fish, and more fish.
Adam?
Fins up. Clint just asked what's the bet.
Uh-oh.
$5.
He said 5 spot. We'll let you two gentlemen.
Yeah, y'all figure that out somewhere else.
Yeah, we'll let you figure out the ordeals on that. You know,
we do not condone gambling.
No, there's no
shooting
involved. What the hell? Suds.
Gotta go with the tuna.
Bruiser.
Take the fish.
Me too. Doug.
Fish.
I would tease the fact of leaving the Bengals in there for Akers, but I will leave it alone and wait for the official.
Well, nobody took the Bengals, right?
No.
Not yet. No.
Akers will do it just to be the lone wolf.
That was the second highest spread this week, 11.5.
Wow. Only 11.5. Really?
Over under is 42.5.
Tua full strength and nice weather. Ooh. Dang, Clint says he'll take that money.
Okay.
Oh. You got that marked down, George?
We've got things handled. It's wow. All right, next up, Colts at the Texans.
Before we go any further, Suds, what's your Cash App? What's that? Send you the money?
Hey, whoa.
Hey, whoa, no, we don't talk about that. No,
they don't.
Colts at the Texans.
If Clint loses, I want to see him dance in a tutu and sing "I'm a Little Teapot."
This is interesting. Burridge took the Texans. It's in Colts at the Texans. Burridge took the Texans. Big D, Sean, and Shrods all took the Colts. Bruiser, I'm gonna come to you first.
I'm gonna take the Colts.
Adam.
I'm gonna take the Texans.
Suds?
Colts.
Every time I take the Colts, they get their butts whooped. I gotta go Texans. Zolt?
Now the Texans are gonna get their butts whooped.
I'm trying to see if DeForest Buckner is supposed to be back this week or not.
He's not.
He's not?
He's not at the moment, no. As of today, it was not.
I will. I'll take the better quarterback. Give me the Texans.
Doug?
Because Will Fuller is out, I'm taking the Colts.
Yes.
Okay, next game up. I have a bigger coin this week. Much bigger coin. Lions at the Bears.
Is fucking Biscuit starting?
Yes.
Mitch, yes. Like I said, heads, tails. Adam,
Is Swift back this week?
I'm
No idea.
praying, but I have not seen anything yet that says that he was still out of concussion protocol. But of course, it's only Wednesday, so don't know.
God,
That's kind of a tough one. I need him. Well, trust me, I know I need him. I'd love to have him back this week. I got tattooed so bad this past week for fantasy, it sucked.
God damn, this is flip the damn coin. That's about the way I'm looking at it. Seriously,
Swift was limited this week or today.
Oh, he was
He
limited.
practiced, but he was limited.
That's better than nothing.
True.
Lions.
that's what I was actually going to pick, so I'm okay with that.
All right. He's good to go with the Lion. Suds, I'm going to ask just for inquiries.
I actually have the Lions written down right now.
Coach, new coach.
I might have. I think I'm going to. My heart ain't in it.
Even with the new coaching staff, you're not feeling.
That's the thing. That's why I was thinking about taking the Lions, is because you don't know what you're going to get offensively when it comes to play calling. You know, you don't know what you're going to get defensively for play calling because of the new head coach. So that's why I was thinking about taking the Lions. But they're the fucking Lions.
And you've been pretty damn good with the Bears, haven't you?
I think.
I was going to say, you seen the Bears lately?
Yeah, but they haven't played the Lions since week 1.
Yeah. Okay. So you want the Bears?
I'm mentally coin flipping.
Oh.
But with my coin in my head can turn on the edge. So.
Yeah. Oh, so you're saying tie?
It's a potential. Oh shit! I'm gonna go. I can't go against the Bears. I gotta go with the Bears. I'm gonna go with my heart.
Okay. Sounds like gas, but Bruiser?
It is.
I'm gonna take the Lions.
It's not a bad pick. I'm telling you. Turn around and kick their ass.
This is actually a pretty tough one. I mean, I do believe in the, dead coach bounce. They're actually going to come out with some swagger. My issue is
no swagger. There won't be. There's no swagger in the
there
Lions.
will be.
No,
whether it's deserve it or not, I don't know.
They
but
don't need to do it. Get the word out of your mouth. There's no. They're wishful thinking.
Here's my issue though. I'm going back to no Galladay, no wins, and I don't think he's playing. So give me the Bears.
Huh.
We're overthinking it, Zolt.
Doug?
This is where I win or lose right here.
Fair enough. Doug?
Teams usually win after the head coach gets fired. So I'm gonna take the Lions.
Damn! White just
Did White just crack up on your ass?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
That was brutal.
Man, your picks are really bad if your wife is clowning you.
Oh.
And she knows nothing about football, which makes it even worse.
Yeah, that kind of.
Well, everybody's general policy in Michigan should be always vote against the Lions. Always take the opponent against the Lions.
Well,
that way they never disappoint.
That's right.
Next up, this game ought to be very different this time around. The Saints are at the Falcons. And so far, the contingency is Shrods, Sean, D, and Burge all have taken the Saints. They're not scared. Suds.
Is Breeze potential, or is he still going to be out?
He's still out.
This is Taysom Hill and Kamara and the boys.
You got about half an hour.
I'm going to go Saints.
Mommy's got to go work tomorrow, and so does Daddy. What's tomorrow?
Zolt?
Yeah, I so badly want this to be an automatic Saints, but it's not.
Don't say that. He loves you. He loves you.
Give me the Saints. I'll ride with everybody.
I ain't got to ride with everybody.
Nah, I'll ride with everybody.
Saints and who?
Falcons.
Atlanta.
The Saints are at Atlanta.
Yeah, if the Falcons have just actually been doing stuff once they got rid of Dan Quinn, it's kind of scary.
I know. And that's, hey, not gonna lie, that I agree with that, and that's what bothers me is because okay, you've seen what Taysom Hill's, the game management and the game plan. I'm not a big. I mean, as much as I like Taysom Hill in his format of the way he's supposed to be, is fantastic. But I mean, right now, you did have him as your second quarterback, and I'd like to see a lot more of the air attack than all of this sneaking, running around.
It doesn't appear they're using him like Lamar Jackson.
No, it's worse. It's Wildcat. It's worse. It's Wildcat.
I'll take Atlanta.
Almost strictly Wildcat, and that's kind of what's ugly about it.
I'll take Atlanta. And Doug, tell your wife we said thank you for letting you stay up for an extra half hour. I heard her issuing out bedtimes a minute ago.
No. That's for her.
Oh, all right.
Because she has to get up at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Go in bed.
Oh, yeah.
You're grounded.
Not yet. Maybe for something else, but not this.
Oh my God, Adam!
Go back outside and play with your pussy.
Oh my God!
He was waiting to throw that out, weren't you?
He was.
Yeah, he was.
He was holding that one in for so long. It's like, really?
Well, let's
to play with the cat.
The time to say that is when I was outside.
No, I had good timing.
Yeah.
That was good timing.
The Falcons got to realize that the Saints ain't the Raiders. So give me the Saints.
Doug?
I don't like the way New Orleans is using Hill either. Oh, man.
The only way you can catch up to everybody is by taking the Falcons.
I have to. Yeah. I was kind of thinking about that.
Suds, you are so bad in being so manipulative to say, you're hooking him, dude. Stop.
No, I wasn't even looking.
Oh no, he is. Look at the smile on that face.
Got him, bitch.
I don't see the smile. Okay.
Got him.
Peer pressure's a motherfucker, ain't it?
I was thinking about taking him anyway.
I know you were, but I kind of.
He's baiting you.
I did. Baited you right into that one.
All right.
No. Since I was already
I gave you a
thinking
push.
of it,
I gave you a push.
Okay, a push, yes, but not bait.
Next week, I'll turn around and say, yep, you pushed him right over the cliff.
Yeah, I'll probably get 7 wins instead of 8.
All right.
Oh, you hope.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's going high, probably. The way I've been picking.
Next up, finally into the afternoon games. The Giants are at the Seahawks. Anybody half interested in the G-Men?
I mean, Daniel Jones didn't practice today, and Colt McCoy is absolutely terrible. So
I don't know. Colt McCoy is not absolutely terrible. I mean,
he's bad.
He has one good game when he comes in as a filler.
Take him, George. Come on,
Hey,
do it.
Christ would disown his ass.
I have
true.
Russell Wilson. I have Russell Wilson now in DK Metcalf.
Well, yeah, and when Colt McCoy starts slinging that ball around, you're going to have to just throw the ball to keep up.
Hey.
Wait, did you say Colt McCoy?
Yes.
Who is he the quarterback for?
The Giants, because Daniel Jones is hurt.
Oh, God.
You guys do realize
that's why Gallman blew it up last week.
Yes, that is exactly why.
That every quarterback in the NFC East is a backup right now.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, my God. And the Giants are in first place, right?
No, Carson Wentz isn't the backup.
It was a joke there was a meme that they had out
It
there.
was close. Actually, wait a minute. You know what? No, because who took him to the Super Bowl? Foles did, which would put Wentz as the backup. All right, fair enough. All right.
I mean, the entire division is a backup.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It was.
How sad is it to think that somebody could easily go 6-10 and win that division and host a playoff game?
I'm sorry. Did you say you wanted somebody to win 6?
They all got to win. What? One of them's at. They're all at. There's 2 or 3 of them that have won 4.
Only 2.
3. Oh,
2. There's only 2 of them are at 4.
Giants and Redskins.
Oh, did they actually have somebody with 4 wins? I thought it was 3 wins.
Yeah. No, the Giants and Redskins won.
They played each other.
Well, the Washington just beat the Cowboys.
Somebody's got to win these fucking games. They're playing each other.
I don't know what. I was gonna say that's actually a good question on what the rest of that team, that schedule looks like.
I think the Redskins and Eagles play each other. I'm sorry, Washington and Philly play one more time, but
Yeah, that's it, because they get they've got Pittsburgh. Come on. The Pittsburgh, then the 49ers, Seahawks, Panthers, and then the Eagles at the end. So they can technically have 5 wins and win.
You said it's Redskins at the Giants or Giants at Redskins?
no, sorry, it's Giants Seahawks. We went out on a tangent.
All right. I was on Washington's schedule.
Yeah, it's Giants Seahawks.
Oh, the Seahawks.
so technically that Washington game at the end of the season with Philly could come down for the division.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes, it can.
Wow.
Yes.
That's gonna get flexed.
Please no. Please no.
Hang
It is
on a
gonna
second.
get flexed to Monday night.
Are you done your machine?
It's Sunday. It's a Sunday 1:00 at the moment. It's a Sunday.
I'm kind of mad the Browns didn't get flexed with the Titans this week.
There's enough scheduling problems. I don't think.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think they were finished moving games around.
Yeah, because the Broncos and the Chiefs are the Sunday night game, so they're not gonna take Patrick Mahomes off of TV for.
Yeah, we gotta watch which quarterback or which wide receiver is playing quarterback for the Broncos this week?
None of them. All 3 Broncos quarterbacks.
Yeah, they're all back.
Are back.
So for now.
They get Drew.
Yeah,
so
right.
They'll get Drew Luck. Everybody in Denver's behaved, and they're back to normal.
All right.
Someone was told, "Go ahead, do something stupid. You will be cut immediately." The whole purpose of it is that they're all in contact at the wrong point in time for the season, and they couldn't get cleared in time because one guy actually had it. The rest were high risk. So.
Okay, next game up is actually a very, very.
One last point to that one. Seahawks favored by 10. There's one double digit left to go, and that's the easy one.
Wait a minute. The Seahawks are only favored by 10 at home against the Giants.
Sorry, man.
Aren't playing If there's a 20-point game, that should be the 20-point game.
Mm-hmm. 10-point spread. A little comment I see: the Seahawks can't pass, protect, or play defense.
Okay.
They might not be able to do pass protect. They might not be that great there, but their passing attack is going to be.
Yeah,
I
agree.
Yeah. Next game up is probably the most important game out of all of these. It's the Rams at the Cards. This is the okay. Either the Rams are going to get the 2-game cushion, or the Rams and Cards are going to be sitting behind the Seahawks going, who's in and fighting for playoff spots.
Oh shit.
So this is with the Rams only having a 1-game plus over the Cards right now. as far as their records go, this is going to be believe me, I'm really hoping this is the quote unquote game of the week that they air nationally, because this is the only thing competitive probably going to be on. Big D took the Rams, Sean Schrods and Burridge took the Cards. Sudsy.
I'm taking the Rams. They have more of a complete team. They got that defense is pretty decent.
Adam?
Where is it at again?
It's in Arizona.
That's your
Sounds like
mom's.
Because isn't San Francisco supposed to play there too?
Yeah.
That's going to be over the next couple of weeks. I'll get into that. I was going to say that
Okay.
once we got into
Ooh, shit.
the latter games.
I want to take the Cardinals, but I'm so disappointed that they lost to the fucking Patriots.
Well, they got lucky with the Hail Mary the week before, so
You know, I haven't picked the Rams yet this year. Let me go with the Rams.
okay. So Bruiser.
I'll take the Rams. I think the Rams are a solid pick there.
Zolt.
Murray's shoulder is an issue, but at the same time, he practiced today. It was limited practice, but he practiced, so I think that sets him up for this weekend. Cardinals, we said it at the beginning of the season, they're going to be a very strange team to watch. You're not going to know what you're going to get. They were low. I think they're going to come out high and give me the Cards.
I love the disappearing chair act he does behind him.
Doug.
Last couple times I picked Arizona, they screwed me, so I'm going to go Rams.
Damn. I'm taking the Rams. I'm going to stick with it. Patriots at the Chargers.
Oh, shit.
This one right now is split down the middle. Sean and Shrod say the Pats. Burridge
Shrod said the Pats?
What a shocker there.
It's in LA at the new Sophie. I am also I'm going to break it. I am taking the Chargers. Sudsy.
Chargers.
Zolt.
Gonna come out for a second and say, what was it about the Chargers head coach? What did he tell his players today? We're not playing for the playoffs. We're out.
Thanks.
What?
You really come out and tell your team that?
And that's why he won't have a job at the end of the year.
Yeah, I mean he has made some absolutely terrible decisions. God,
48 seconds left in the half, and he lets 20 seconds go off the clock, and then he calls timeout.
Yeah.
While you're trying to score.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fucking genius right there.
Yeah, give me the Pats. I just so much better coached.
Doug?
Yeah.
I love the drinking cup, by the way.
The what cup?
Oh,
Your cup.
Oh, my
Nice.
copper mug?
Yeah.
Chargers.
Damn you, Doug. Could have just stuck with the Patriots like you were going to. Bruiser.
No.
I'm gonna take the Chargers as well, because I think with Brady gone and Cam Newton there, Belichick doesn't have a quarterback there that he could control now, like he could with Brady. They were both on the same page. And I think once Cam is gone this offseason and they draft somebody new or go out and get somebody else, we'll see the same old Patriots closer to what they were next year. This is not the Patriots. It's not the Patriots we're used to.
Huh. That's a weird thought. Matthew Stafford in a Patriots uniform?
I was just thinking that.
It's not going to happen now.
That's like, that would be kind of weird.
Yeah, but it would also make sense though.
I could see Stafford there.
Yeah, as an interim, a few years, like maybe 3 or 4, develop a quarterback in the meantime.
Is it
Another
better,
one
is Stafford better than Cam Newton?
Absolutely.
Yes.
The other one I could also see, and I don't know what his deal is. I could see Phillip Rivers.
No.
Only on a 1 year. Phillips only on a 1 year. That's all he is in Indy. It's just a 1 year deal.
I could see Phillip Rivers there too.
Yeah, they're next year they're going to want a little bit more traditional passing quarterback, which would Stafford, Rivers, that type. Cam is definitely gone, and they don't have anybody in development, so they need a good veteran. They need a trading partner right now.
Stidham is not the answer. Stidham is not the answer, and they know.
There's no way he's the answer.
Belichick is tricky, and this is what he's doing. He's pumping Cam Newton up to be something he's not now, so he can get Cam on a different team. That way, it's be easier to beat that team because he's a sneaky son of a bitch.
Do you think he's intentionally perhaps inflating Cam's trade value?
Yes.
Why wouldn't he?
You're not winning that division. You might as well see what you get out of him.
So
he's totally inflating him.
So he could pretty much set him up for the first all-London team.
Well, here's a question for you. Why do you think it's possible Billy Boy just in the offseason goes and grabs another retread? He just looks for a quarterback that's just not getting a deal and just grabs him. And sees what he can
Rivers. Or not Tannehill, but Fitzpatrick.
Oh, Fitzpatrick.
Instead of making a deal for Stafford or whoever.
Fitzpatrick is not a bad idea.
That is not a bad idea.
Yeah, Belichick loves the smart guy.
In fact, that is a horrible idea. I hate it.
Dave's like, crap, no, it's a bad idea.
Like, please don't do that.
Don't do that.
Because think about it.
That might actually work.
New England is notorious about taking the smart, good athlete.
Yeah.
That is their big thing. And there ain't nobody in this freaking NFL smarter than Fitzpatrick.
Yeah,
the man's a fucking genius.
It's all about playing a quarterback to his strengths and not making him do things that he can't do.
It'd be interesting too, because Belichick's also another one that gets people toward the end of their career. Try to give them that one last shot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fitzpatrick would be guy. He's literally a genius. I believe his IQ's in the 140s.
Well, when you graduate Harvard practically in honors, I mean that's got to tell you something about your smarts.
Yeah, I could see Fitzpatrick there. God damn it, Adam! Why'd you have to say something smart?
Adam, it's your pick, by the way.
One quick thing. We had to talk earlier. Bieniemy, could he go to LA if they fire Lynn? He's a former player in San Diego when they were in San Diego.
Absolutely
could. He absolutely could.
And you have a quarterback you can mold with Herbert.
And
you got a running back and a wide receiver.
Yep. You've got
Filthy.
the defensive line.
I hate it.
God, wow.
And you got good weather, which trumps all the other.
Yeah, it does.
All the other shitty teams.
Yep.
Well, their stadium's a dome anyways, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, but don't you leave the Lions Stadium after getting lost, you're like this. And then you leave San Diego going, ooh, a beautiful day.
LA.
Oh,
Los
fuck.
Angeles.
Los Angeles, San Diego. They should have stayed in San Diego anyways. Better weather.
I just call it the Sophie.
So, depending on this COVID situation next year, are we going to get together and have the Dueling Aces all get together to go to the Browns-Lions game in Cleveland?
Yeah, Burridge already said that.
If it's clear, sure.
Burridge already said, yeah. And if we don't get into the game, it's going to be on the patio at his place. So, yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Still a deal.
I'm going to take I just don't trust Cam. Right now, I mean, then Zolt had to go and make his fucking comment about the coaching. It's like, God damn it, now I'm 50-50 on it, but I'm going to ride the Herbert train.
Herbert's putting up the numbers to beat him.
Yeah, he is.
Is he the rookie of the year right now?
I would say. At least very, very heavily in the discussion.
I wish it's kind of why I wish Burrow wouldn't have got hurt, because I think it would have been a toss up between the two of them.
Let's come back to that after we're through on our picks. Let's see when we get to that, because I do want to bring that up on the show soon about the rookie of the year. Next up, Eagles are at the Packers, and after there's been how much snow? I was gonna say they got a little bit of their crop dusting too. Anybody really half intrigued on the Eagles, or is everybody on the Packer deal?
I'll take the Packers.
Yeah, if there's one thing the Packers are good at, it is bullying bad teams at Lambeau.
The Bears.
That was brutal. Next up.
Oh, hey, going back to the Eagles though, the Carson Wentz thing. I saw a stat over the weekend. Hey, God, I'm trying to remember the first number. Carson Wentz, the amount of times he's been sacked. Last year, I'm trying to remember what the number was. It was like mid-30s. He's already at 46 times sacked.
Yep.
And he's got how many games to go?
I was going to say he could almost break Carr's record. Carr's younger brother.
That man is getting killed. I'm not saying he's playing well either, but that man is just getting demolished.
Well, when you hold the ball, the average time for an NFL player, quarterback, to throw the ball is supposed to be 4 seconds. Yep. Under 4, I believe.
Yeah,
2.5.
Huh?
2.5 to 3.
Oh, it's 3.
That's just Cleveland. That's just Cleveland quarterbacks.
I was going to say Cleveland quarterbacks. It has to be 1.5.
Yeah.
Everybody else.
And this dude is holding the ball for closer to 6 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do that, you become a big fat target. And he's taking his hits because he's not getting rid of the ball. He's not making the right decisions in the right place.
Unlike Patrick Mahomes, who can hold it for like 10 seconds. And
he could also scramble.
Oh, I can have that one.
Well, he's got like 80 different ways he can throw it. Underhand, sidearm, fucking shovel. I mean,
ambidextrous.
Left-handed.
Lefty.
Yeah.
Yeah, lefty. Left-handed with a twist. Underarm.
Going down.
Softball tossed it.
It's like Pat Mahomes. Mahomes is the type with his throws. He's like the old Michael Jordan versus Larry Bird, McDonald's commercials.
Yeah. Off the backboard, off the roof, off the thing.
Yeah.
Nothing but
off that guy's helmet, off of that guy's helmet or his shoulder pad, and into Tyreek's hands. Over
for the touchdown.
Safety, and scores a touchdown.
Yep.
Speaking of which, the Broncos are at the Chiefs. Thank you. I was going to say let laughter ensue.
The Broncos actually have quarterbacks this week.
Totally shit.
Yes, which means that
not a goddamn thing.
Well, hang on a second, because I needed to get to this. They let this guy throw 1 for 9. They only made 9 passing attempts, which meant they made no dedication to throwing the ball at all. Not whatsoever. And it was 1 for 5 at halftime. If you clearly are literally putting it out there by halftime that, hey, maybe we might want to start to throw the ball around so that the guy who's playing quarterback can get into a rhythm, you handcuff this poor guy right from the word go. And oh, by the way, if Mr. Aaron happens to still be watching, we did notice that somebody went against what I put out there in the messages about not going to pick him up. And how'd that -3 taste? Karma always finds a way. Just to let you know, apparently I didn't need to do any work, and Karma turned around and took care of business. Just wanted to let you all know that one. So
last week I literally grabbed
Aaron picked up the quarterback wide receiver and put him in the wide receiver spot and got -3.
Yep.
Oh,
after I mentioned don't bother doing it, because I would turn around and make sure that
I literally grabbed him in my league and stuffed him on my bench and told the league, like, none of y'all can have him. There will be no shenanigans from any of you.
I was going to definitely try to make sure that, and that's why I put that out there. And then some people, still went ahead and tried it, and it looks like didn't just whammy them, but whammied them pretty good.
Yeah.
What did you actually blame on me?
Someone on the
You always put the shit on me. I didn't do it.
No, we didn't say you were.
But you always put it on me. You try to create another Sudbury rule. I'm talking to you.
You're the one who would be the one who would do it because of the loophole.
But I didn't. So now make up a rule for their ass.
Sud's good on you for not screwing everything over. Good job.
You know how many subsections to the Sudbury rule there are? Jesus.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's
all right. I admit I'm a fucking cheater. I don't mind it.
No,
I tell my son, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Listen, Eddie Guerrero, relax.
Yeah.
Suds, you're not a cheater. You're a loophole finder. You're still doing it legally.
No, I like to cheat.
Just above board.
No.
It's not. Listen, Suds, you can use the line I use on my kids. It's not cheating. It's advantageous winning.
My son, my little boy, my youngest, plays tackle football. Now, mind you, he's only 60 pounds, and these other kids outweigh him anywhere from 30 to 70 pounds to 100 pounds. Our weight goes up to 155. There's kids on his team are 155 pounds with his pads on, and Gabriel sits at 60 with pads on. And I told him, I said, he's out there blocking stuff. I said, hold him. I said, get up underneath them, grab those straps on that pad, and if you fall down, take them with you. And he goes, Dad, that's cheating. And I go, yeah, and?
Not if you don't get flagged.
What's your point? Then he's like, but it's cheating. I said, only if you get caught.
So what you do is, as you're going down, you release your grip.
No, I tell them to make sure you just keep it up close. Keep the body in tight so they can't see where you're grabbing. And if you're going down, you're taking it with them. Don't let those arms out. But
next game up, Monday night, game A at 5 o'clock. The Washington football team at the Steelers.
All right, all you Steelers haters, go.
And everybody that was out there saying it's like Washington's going to make this a game, make the pick. Let's go.
Steelers.
I want to see it.
Yeah, you bet. And I hear the splashes of a backstroke. Go ahead.
No. My comment is Chris Collinsworth said that Washington was going to make that a game, and that it could happen. And Mr. Collinsworth is in my top 5 worst sports commentators. Just had to.
Did you see the splash? I saw the splash. Going backwards.
What? There's no splash. Anybody want Washington? Going once, going twice. Sold.
The Chiefs game was actually the biggest spread at 14.5. This game is completely off the board. So
you can't even bet on this one?
No, not
because the Steelers game because it just ended. It just ended about 5 hours ago. So that's why it's not on the board yet.
Preliminary, I'm thinking the line is going to be about 10. The spread will be about 10 points. So
that's being generous.
Ben's
going to be pissed off and thrown like 400 yards.
I think there's going to be a lot more people than just Ben.
Yeah.
Next game up, Bills at 49ers. We have Ryan, Sean, and Shrods took the Bills. Big D took the 49ers. I don't know what to make of the 49ers. It's a Jekyll and Hyde deal. They beat the Rams again, and I'm sitting here going, what the hell? I don't know. At this point, I really don't. I'm just hoping that it's Josh Allen got his head out of his butt and they have a much better game this week. And I'm going with the Bills. Suds?
Get your coin out.
Whoa. Okay. 49ers heads, tails on the Bills. 49ers.
Take them. Because you don't know which team's going to show up
on either side.
Adam?
Part of me wants to take the 49ers for the simple fact that maybe Buffalo's looking ahead to the Steelers matchup next week. Possibly. And plus the whole West Coast travel thing. But you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to take the Niners. Gut feeling, take the Niners.
Zolt?
The Niners have at least made things interesting, even when they're down all kinds of players. They're getting some players back. I'm really finding them an interesting team to watch. So give me the 49ers, even though this means I'm agreeing with the guy who took the Jets.
Nobody should ever be taking the Jets this year.
I agree.
Doug?
Bills.
I'm feeling better.
You know, hey, Doug, you know what the difference between you and a broken clock is?
Difference between me and a what?
A broken clock.
No.
The clock's going to be right twice.
Hey, I was right last week 8 times. So I'm actually better than a broken clock.
I was just going to say that this game is going to be held in Arizona. There is a COVID lockdown in Santa Clara, so they don't even get to go into their facilities either. The 49ers are totally locked out.
Yeah.
So today they were in Arizona and they're also quarantined to the hotel.
Where's
they are not on a holiday as
right. Where's Stanford playing? I saw that they got moved too. I just didn't see where they got moved to.
Yeah, I don't know where they had gotten bumped over to, but yeah, I knew that they had gotten moved as well. But yeah, this game is in Arizona, so it's kind of another weird one of
nobody's a home team.
Nobody being a true home team. It's kind of going to be.
Hey, next week, the UK starts the vaccine.
Yeah, actually.
So now we'll see if the zombie apocalypse is coming.
Well,
great.
Well, ours.
That's all we needed.
Ours starts the week after, so on December 15th. So
it's funny you said that, Suds, because my wife was actually talking to one of her friends on the phone last night, and they were talking about getting it. I said, "You do realize what the vaccine equals, right?" She goes, "What?" I said, "Zombie apocalypse. Walking Dead starts once you get the vaccine."
I wasn't making shit up.
Bruiser.
Yeah.
Pick Bills or the 49ers.
Bills.
And on to our lovely Tuesday night game.
Oof.
Yeah. Cowboys at the Ravens.
Oh, geez.
Birch took the Cowboys. D, Sean, and Shrods took the Ravens. Doug?
Gee, thanks.
You're welcome.
This is how everybody else makes their pick, though, Doug.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see the logic in that.
We're on the fence. We need to know what you're going to do. I'm dangerously close to starting looking like Santa Claus at this point in time.
Yeah, we know.
Baltimore.
He took the Ravens.
Fuck.
I have to. They're the better team, technically.
What if Lamar Jackson gets to play?
Did you just say, what if Lamar Jackson gets to play?
Yes,
did you say, what if Lamar gets to play?
Yes, he did.
He could listen, when did he come down with the COVID?
By the time that game rolls around, he should be cleared.
Yeah.
Because you could be cleared in 10 to 14 days. And how many days is that? How many days?
Probably at
He'll
least
be
11.
in
11, 12?
13, 14. He'll be 15.
Oh, 15?
He'll be
So
almost.
guess who might
14.
play?
Maybe.
Because if he is symptom free and tests not and symptom free at that point in time,
Well,
doesn't
today
need to
they
test.
said there were no new positive cases.
It doesn't matter.
So,
It's when he gets it, and in
But
14
he's still
days, 10 to
tested-
14 days.
He still tested positive yesterday.
You're
He
always
still
gonna
tested
test
positive yesterday?
You're going to test positive regardless. You're going to retest when it comes down to testing. Once you have it, you get a positive test all the time.
Right, but
Not
you
gonna all of a
have
sudden.
you have to get 3 negative tests to be pulled off that list.
He's got lots of time.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
So he has 5 days. He has 5 days to get 3 negative tests.
So what did I say? And you laughed at it? He could get
So
the
he
play,
may not be playing.
but he could. Would that change your decision, Doug? That was the purpose of my question.
Okay.
Fucking Lamar Jackson's going to come back when they play the Browns.
Oh my God, wouldn't that just be the whole ordeal?
If he's not playing and it's known that he's not playing, like it's a definitive, yeah, that probably would change my pick because I was thinking about having Lamar Jackson in there, and that's why I picked Baltimore.
Don't use logic.
Suds, who are you taking?
I'm going to. I was hoping to get him to switch his pick.
Sorry.
I'm going to take the Ravens. I think they
Adam?
played well with Griffin and the quarterback.
Actually, Griffin was benched. And
McSorley.
And McSorley was put in.
Oh, shit.
Adam, your pick.
Okay.
I don't trust Andy Dalton. I trust McSorley or RG3 more than I trust Dalton. So give me the Ravens, plus the Ravens defense.
Zolt is scrambling, I know.
No, I'm just trying to look up. Didn't Dallas lose like more offensive linemen? Like even more offensive linemen than they'd already lost?
Actually, it was one other guy, and the other dude was on the defensive line.
Okay. Give me the Ravens.
Here's a question too. Over or under Zeke getting 50 yards?
Under.
Yeah.
Over. 50 yards? He'll get 50
The
yards.
Ravens.
He didn't get 50. He didn't get 50
No.
yards.
Suds, the last time he saw 50 yards, Prescott was playing. No. So
Yeah, he got me
it has not gone well.
He got me 2.6 points last week.
Yeah, he got me 36 in Georgia's league.
I got the whopping 36. I was not happy. Bruiser, who would you like?
Minnesota, he got 103.
Who is it again?
Cowboys are at the Ravens.
Oh, Ravens.
And boom, would you look at that? Clean it up just in time.
Yeah, the Ravens for sure.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to matter. The Cowboys are such a disaster. And again, with the snowstorm rolling in over that way, it's going to be a cluster bomb. It is real interesting, Adam, to see just one Mr. Justice Hill playing today, by the way. I was like, hey, all right, do something really nice so I can turn around and work on that jersey.
Didn't do too well, did he?
Well, he got a lot of passing yards, and it was all positive, whatever he did. So,
yeah, I'm still miffed at that whole, like, 'cause I was listening to it on my way home from work, and that fucking drive that the Ravens had right before the half, and they couldn't get no goddamn points, and then you lose by 5.
Well, like I said, you had to see the touchdown at the end there. It was It was a little overzealousness by the Pittsburgh defense too.
Yeah, he tried. Yeah, he tried to. One of the defenders tried to intercept the ball and he missed completely, which allowed the catch. And see ya.
He never went for the interception. He was just about a step behind in the coverage.
No, I was talking about the first guy who cut.
No,
Not the one who.
the first guy who cut. First guy who cut, he had to turn around and drop down to cover the tight end. It's the second man up who was responsible for covering him after that. No, first man had to cut down as he went by, because he went by, he had to take the upfront coverage. The NBA has released their, well, we should pretty much say the Christmas Day schedule is available at the moment. 5 wonderful games. I'm sure Mr. Sudbury will be just glued to the TV.
On Christmas?
No. All right, boys. Since the picks are in, I'm out.
Night, Doug.
Later, dude.
Later, bud.
Later.
I'm interested in seeing the Warriors-Bucks game.
I was just going to ask you, what's the most intriguing matchup here?
Warriors-Bucks.
And it's an
Is
early
it
one.
big? And Nets, Boston is Kyrie and what's his name? Oh shit. What's his name? He's damn.
I'm sorry I didn't prep you for this. I was hoping that you can go on your feet there.
But I'm not. He played for the Warriors and he was with the. He got hurt. Durant. That one's interesting too. That would be a number. That would be the second one that'd be really interesting.
Luka and the Lakers doesn't tickle a fancy.
Not really. No, you're gonna get your ass. I think that LeBron's gonna cut. I just don't like it. They just don't have the talent to stay with the Lakers. They didn't have the talent going in. They ain't got it now. I mean, they got 2 good players, but they're not the same caliber as LeBron and Davis. Even though Davis actually hasn't signed his contract.
Okay.
Now, as for the last game, Denver versus what is
Clippers.
that? Clippers. It'd be entertaining at best. Hey, there's us.
Yeah. Adam, if you're on a Lions jersey and live anywhere in Michigan, please report your practice Monday, 1 o'clock sharp.
Hell no.
Oh my God. Too funny. So far, the other news with the NBA as well is they said they have 38 positive tests already from players. And of course, as we all pretty much would know, that after Thanksgiving holiday, I was not surprised by that whatsoever. I mean, the NBA is going to find out, like everybody else, that it's extremely common at the moment. And how are they going to adjust to it? I mean, yes, we know we've got this vaccine, and how does the vaccine play into how the sports will progress over the next 3 to 4 months? We're about to go through another transition period, and I don't know. I mean, I know it's something that we can bring up going in even in the next week. Are we going to be looking at? I mean, right now they're already late for their starting. If I'm correct, hockey is the Classic on New Year's Eve or January 2nd. Is it January 2nd?
NHL was talking about starting the season on the 1st of the year. I do not know if that is still current or not, because they've been negotiating, but they've been negotiating really, really slow. So I would have thought they would have announced it already if they were going to start on the 1st.
Because as of right now, a lot of the draft picks and whatnot are also at the World Junior Championships and are
Yes.
already playing.
Yeah.
So right now it looks to be like they have a solid consensus to start. It looks like just after the new year.
Well, I think one of the biggest issues they're going to have is how in the hell are you going to do this with 7 Canadian teams
Yeah.
when they can't go back and forth?
I was going to ask that question.
How is that going to work? And I'm pretty sure that is the hardest question that they're going to have to answer right now.
Right now, Canada put on a ban.
Yeah,
Travel ban.
the
They
flat out,
managed to do it with the Blue Jays.
the Blue Jays didn't play in Canada.
The Blue,
They
yeah.
didn't play, right.
I mean, how
Well,
do
maybe you move those. Maybe you move those 7 Canadian teams to here to the U.S. for the season.
You'd have to.
Well, I still like the format where they pull them all up into Canada.
Canada ain't going for it right now.
No. Canada pulled all of the NHL teams.
Yeah, bring them up and
Canada
quarantine everybody.
Quarantined up everybody. I mean,
You
like
have
we
to
said,
find homes for 24 other teams.
well, if you're choosing another site,
It'd be easier to bring them down here than bringing them up there.
It would.
I don't know. I mean, you only had 12 at each site already, or I'm sorry, 15 at each site already. Did you not?
But they've already said they're not going to do what they did.
Okay.
They
Financially,
cannot do a full season that way.
That's too long of a bubble.
So the question is going to be, they've been talking about doing it regionally, and I can understand that. Throw all the Canadian teams into one division and just go. I'm at the point I don't know if Canada will let them actually play, even if they stay in country.
So let's talk money though. Okay? Because you're looking at what the NBA reported loss of $1.5 billion. Okay? Because they did not have regular season or home games, they didn't have fans. They lost $1.5 billion. Now, that's with knowing that they played from when the start of the season was last year all the way till March. So they had already finished up more than 65-70% of their season, and they still lost $1.5 billion. Now, if you take that and you do go no fans for 100% of the season, you're probably looking at $2.5 billion in loss revenue. That will destroy hockey.
And plus you have the Seattle team too. Right?
They start
I just don't
the
think
year
you
after.
can.
It's the following year.
I just don't think you can. I don't think you can quarantine and have no fans in the stands and be viable for the NHL because they're not big money.
No,
they're not the NBA and they're not the NFL, and they can't take a $1 billion hit would be devastating for them. So I think whatever plan's going to come in, it's going to involve having fans in the stands. So whether or not they decide to have it in, hey, we're going to start the season in March and go a shorter season and end in June or July, or I potentially see them not having a season. Or a very short season.
I could very well see them doing something similar to what you just said. Late spring, you do a tournament with every team.
Yeah, something they'll try to figure out something, but they cannot take this. They cannot take the hit like the NBA can.
And I think
financially,
that's the holdup right now is they're trying to figure out a way to make it work.
Because money talks and bullshit walks, and if you can't make the money, they're not going to pay these players these huge salaries, and they're just throwing money away at that point. The NBA, I say that they might start on this in December, but they may shut shit down come January, February if the fans don't get back in the stands. Because you're looking at a $2 billion loss.
I mean, especially because you came out a month ago and you said we're pushing it back another month. I mean, here we are, December 2, and it's like, all right, well, in a month, you're saying you're playing.
Even a month. We're talking in 22 days. Or 20 days, excuse me. You're supposed to start on the 22nd, right?
No, January 1st.
I'm talking the NBA.
Oh, the NBA? Yeah, the 22nd.
You're supposed to start. You got 20 something
games
days.
are on the 22nd and 23rd.
I'm saying that if they don't get their shit together and get fans in the stands, NBA's done in March. They shut shit down.
Why is that? Football in most of the stadiums, they have been without fans.
Television deal, man.
Just a few states where the fans have been allowed in.
The NBA has a better TV deal than NHL, but it doesn't even come close to NFL's TV deals.
No,
that's the difference.
Yeah, that is the difference.
You could make up a shitload of money with the TV deal the NFL has, and the NBA makes a fucking buttload of money with the fans in the stands. They charge hundreds of dollars a ticket, and they could fit 30,000 people in a stadium, and they do it 3 to 4 days a week, where they're fitting people in the stadiums like that, and that brings in a lot of revenue. Their revenue comes from the fans buying tickets versus the NFL gets a lot of their money from TV.
Well, that's how NASCAR even remotely managed to stay afloat this year, was through the TV deal. I mean, you're looking. I mean,
but they also pay for the win. If you're on a scale, top person getting X amount and going down, where the other ones they just get their salaries. So
no, I get you, but a lot of those, but the purse isn't necessarily paid through the TV money. It's paid through the race sponsors. If goodies or
but is the money always the same though? That's what I'm saying. If you don't have the money, you lower the purse.
Well, no. So like, say, I forget who's sponsoring the Daytona 500 this year, but we'll say Walmart, right?
Okay.
For what it just for shits and giggles, we'll say Walmart. Walmart sponsoring that race. The purse for that race, because it is a premier race, total purse is probably close to $3.5 million. And it is a sliding scale downward. You are correct. But let's say the Darlington Mother's Day race, it's not a premier race. The purse for that may only be $600,000 or $700,000. The sponsor money, you have a sponsor for the race, and then the individual teams have the sponsors. But part of the reason that NASCAR was able to stay afloat this year was through the TV money through NBC and Fox. I think all of these sports leagues, to an extent, are relying on that TV money to get them through 2020 and most of 2021 until fans can come back, at least in some semblance.
Right, but the problem is the NBA doesn't get nearly the money that the NFL does for TV deals. And when you're talking, let's say it's 60-40, and 60% being the fans and 40% being TV, and you lose all 60% of your fans, and you're only relying on 40% of your TV contract to cover the league. In NASCAR, like you just said, the purse is on a scale, the purse is set, where in the NBA, you got guys on contract who are making guaranteed $25 million a season.
Right.
Where there is no scale. They're not going to move up and down. That money's always going to be exactly the same. So you end up lose more money.
But the Raptors are paying the contract for whomever. The Lakers are paying the contract for the
Right.
for LeBron, right? The purse.
There is no purse for them.
There is no purse for it, but the purse doesn't come off of the purse for NASCAR doesn't come off of the TV money. It's not that TV money is going towards NASCAR, which is branded by Coke, Xfinity, and Geico, the three main partners that own NASCAR. I mean, that's like the drivers. The way that the NASCAR salaries for drivers work and the purse money works is really, I mean, it's complicated. It is extremely complicated.
But what's not complicated is if you ain't making money, I ain't paying that much money. If
Right, and that's the problem. That's the problem they're going to run into in 2021.
They'll lower their costs, which is the purse, which is the money that they're paying out.
Sure.
They will lower that cost, and to balance it out, where the NBA can't lower their costs. Everybody's under contract. What they can do is make it a hard cap, and then certain players will either cut you, or you take a salary or decrease. But for the superstars, they'll continue to lose money because they have no choice but to play these guys.
Well, and
that's why I'm saying they end up canceling. They could potentially end up canceling the season if they don't figure out.
But that comes back to the collective bargaining. Do you really need to pay $125, $150 million for a 4 or 5 year deal for LeBron or Steph Curry? Like the contracts in basketball and the NBA have gotten, or baseball and the NBA have gotten extremely exorbitant. Like
I totally agree. But the problem is right now is that some of these guys have already signed their contracts and they're already written in stone, and you can't break them. You can't just cut them. So you're stuck with it. Right now, actually, they're not stuck with LeBron James and Davis, but they'll end up paying him anyways, assuming that they're in next 2 years that they'll be back to normal. But they're going to bleed money, and that's why I think in order to avoid losing a shitload of money, they'll end up dropping everything by February.
Did you guys see that they actually broke down LeBron's contract by like hours, weeks, minutes, and all that shit today?
No, because of the
extension or whatever.
Yeah,
it's an insane amount.
It was like $82 a minute. Like that is just even sick to think about. Let's see if I can find it. I'll send it to you, George, eventually. But
he's gonna sit there. He basically, it's like, I'm sorry, I took a 20-minute nap.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys, I'm gonna head out. Thanks for letting me hang out with you guys for a little bit.
Same here.
You're very welcome, sir. Thank you.
Have a good week.
We're all heading out.
Yeah, I was gonna say we've run into overtime here. Everybody left with us right now. Thank you very much for catching up with us. We will see you all again next week, and we'll catch you all on the flip side.